Alright, I guess I have to acquaint myself with the folks that just rolled in here. Yo, what's up, Tina? Thank you so much for bringing your community in with mine. Happy to have you all here. Hopefully you're having a good one. How did the Final Fantasy VI run go today? It looked like you were going for a long time, so I just assumed that everything was peachy and everything was fine, and there were no problems in general. PB, goddamn. Guess how? Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right. I don't know what the main world record score is, so I have no scale when I say this, so it might be completely off. But considering the length of the game and some of the time things I've seen, I would say about 28 minutes. 28 minutes is my guess. Also, what's up, B. Jonas? How you doing? Jen, good to see you. Dubs, good to see you as well. 5 seconds! You're absolutely royalty all the same time, Tina. I'm proud of you for beating past you. Also, what's up, Strong Bad Man? I will say, your opinion of the quality of this being forced to call documentary is not incorrect. This thing is entertaining it as all hell, even if it makes me yell out madly at everything that's going on. But I hate calling it a documentary. Oh, I hate calling it a documentary. I mean, I think they do too with how they marketed it, but it's so not a documentary. They're not presenting anything in a documentarian sense. They were just this could be a fictional video. This could be replaced with I don't know, the guy who plays Scott Pilgrim. And it could be just a normal movie, and it would have the same qualitative effect without changing anything else. I refuse to call it a documentary. Escape from Prairie Secure? I don't have it queued, because I'm going to hopefully finish Nintendo Quest first. And then see where we're at timing-wise and everything like that. And see if my internet is still working, for that matter. If we finish it up and we have a significant amount of time, I will move on to Escape from Paradise City. If we have less than significant time, I have a few backup videos. I'm basically just playing it by ear on terms of, is the internet going to work or not? That's basically where I am. Yo, what's up, Kara? How you doing? Happy Monday and or Tuesday to all the folks out there swinging on by, ready for some Monster Hunter action out there. Always happy to have you all big chilling with me. Listen to good OSTs at the same time. Fuck, I put this down. It's been 10 minutes. I can say stuff now. Can you observe monsters being hunted? It's possible that monsters will be hunted. It's also possible that my internet gets hunted and shut down again. We'll see what happens. If I'm being honest. Yeah. I saw you say that last time. I'm like, it's exactly that. I didn't get to actually agree with you out loud because I'm like, the moment I go live, I'm agreeing with this 100%, and then I never went live again. But exactly. Arnold completely used Pumping Iron as the capability to push his own stardom to the limelight, and successfully so. There's a very real pipeline that goes from lifting weights in California to becoming the mayor of California. There is a domino mean for this one. It's crazy. But yeah, check it out, MS Tang. So this is what's going on. This is why I have to play this fucking game. And you know, Tina's telling me I took the $50. That's the fucked up part. I have not accepted any sort of money for this game yet. No one has given me money for the fact that I'm playing Monster Hunter, nor have I completed the game, so I don't get the money from the Cursed 50 itself. I'm at net zero for this game. I could quit anytime, but I'm not a fucking quitter. I never quit. I quit all the time. I even quit on this joke. I mean, it's right there on the 10. I give up easy. But yeah, what's up, MS Tang? How you doing, Rav4? Hopefully you're doing good. Party like a wizard. Good to see ya. Welcome on back in. Hopefully you're having a good one. Yeah, to absolutely destroy Lou. And then became a star. That dude would stop at nothing to become a movie star. And you know what? All I have to do is shrug and say that it is what it is. Has anyone given up on Curse 50? I think so. I thought someone gave up on like Drakengard or something like that. One of the Drakengard games, like Drakengard 2. I want to say I thought it was Emily. Someone has like a mental record of this sort of thing that I don't have the history of because I came in fairly late into the whole pit crew in general. But someone once said that one of the Drakengard games was like 2 dog shit and they quit on the Cursed 50. But I think that was the only time that's ever happened. I might be the third closest. The second or third closest. I've actually watched Pumping Iron as a person who lifts weights themselves and was very interested in it. I'm like, all right. I actually heard that whole thing about like the, you know, I like coming in the gym whole thing from a song. And I'm like, that sounds like Arnold, but there's no way that's Arnold. And then after listening to like this synthwave remix a number of times in the gym, I was like, all right, I have to check this out. So I safely waited until I got home from the gym to Google up coming in the gym. And it turns out like that was a real quote. And I'm like, wait, that's from this? That's what the hell's this? All right, I gotta watch it now. I have to watch it. And it's one hell of an experience to watch. It's a lot. They put on well, I should say Arnold at least puts on a damn good show. And Luke's just like, I want to go home. Was a lot less playable than 2, but I'm not sure it's an advantage for 2. I think it has something to do with like the ending or something like that. Like you had to get the final ending or something like that, and that was like an absolutely dog shit experience, if I remember correctly. Once I'm outside looking in on that one. But did a ton of off-stream grinding. Okay. I have not done any off-stream grinding of any sort for Monster Hunter, and that's maybe my biggest falling. Because I have to be faced with the fact that I have streamed this game for over 72 hours and growing every time I turn on the game. So, also, what's up? What's up, Spine Shark? Good to see you as well. Adamant, hell yeah. Hopefully you all having a good one. Yo, Chiral! The Drakengard series is on my list of games I actually want to play sometime. They're actually bad? I don't think they're bad. Question mark. I think that it's just a lot to ask of a person without a guide type of thing. Or it takes a lot of work, I should say. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. I think Drakengard 3 is actually good, though, right? I think people talked about that one positively. But all 3 Drakengards. 1 is at least weird enough to be interesting. 2 does a wonderful job wasting your time, and 0 has 0 interesting things. Oh, okay, I read that wrong. Okay, I thought it was a Drakengard 0. I'm like, that would make sense. You think 2 is way better, but you play all 2 and all of 1 is very hard to think 2 is way better. That's hilarious. I love it when a second game completely eats the bed. Also, what's up, Toro? How you doing? 3's your favorite Yokotaro game. I've heard that before, too. There's a lot of sex and violence. I love that show. I loved it when Jim Henson made that show. I almost said song, damn. Regular guitar has its flaws, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. He's got to gain that respect him as a writer. And Dragon Piss. Oh, I got plenty of Dragon Piss in this game. Don't you worry. Already like the wizard. I got plenty of Dragon Piss. The dragons just keep pissing on me. Wait, what am I doing? Hold on a sec. I also have to restart from a certain point on this game too, because since my internet went out last time while we were playing, I actually did a save state before I quit, so that I could return to exactly where I left off. I'm exactly here, about to be assaulted by boars. I'm just gonna go ahead and like reload in a second here because I gotta get the stream. I gotta get the actual video set up, and it's a perfect time to catch up all the folks from Tina's cool stream. Oh, hey, there's the monster. Nice. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't. Okay. We're just gonna pause it there. But I feel like it's a perfect time to catch everyone up on what we are watching or what we are going to be finishing today. And it might be more valuable to start over. I don't know. We're only like 26 minutes in today. So maybe we just start over if there's enough folks who are like, okay, what the fuck's going on after I explain this. So on your screen right now, that's not in theater mode. Hold on a sec there. Cool. Don't look at my recommendations. You'll think I'm a weirdo. So yes. So this is Nintendo Quest. the most unofficial and unauthorized Nintendo documentary ever. So, you know, they're kind of not taking that seriously as they could be. But I need to know the price. You might have to wait 30 minutes. Also, what's up, iconic iders? How you doing? Might be one of those if I ever pick it up, like, skip the second one. Then nah, you just play the second one, Cairo. You're not a quitter. You play Mahjong. How hard can you be hurt by a video game? Really? You play Mahjong at a high level, and you're going to quit on 2 before you start? How dare you? So anyways, Nintendo Quest is a documentary about a guy whose name I cannot remember, and I have thus renamed him J Josh because it's one of those common J names of some sort. His friend, who's actually also in the shot right now, so that works great. His friend, who's kind of facing towards the camera, decided he's going to make a documentary where he's going to challenge his friend J Josh to start from zero on his NES collection and spend 30 days trying to get the entire collection, or NES collection. And this is in 2012, so this is actually like a viable thing versus current day prices. It's actually a viable thing to collect all NES officially released NES games within 30 days. You not using any help from the internet. Can't purchase anything from the internet. Can't do any research on the internet type of stuff. Or maybe you can do research. I forgot the rules. Can't ask any friends for help. There was some other rule in there, but basically he has to do it like face-to-face contact and reach out to people type stuff. But the biggest notoriety, the biggest notable thing is that he's never said his budget. We don't know what his budget is. You might be sitting there at a point like, well, look, there's a dollar bar there. Look at that dollar bar. That clearly shows how much money he must have, and he probably keeps you updated. No, absolutely not. We have no fucking clue how much money he has going into this. And mind you, his first, 50 games he acquires, he contacts his friends, which is against the rules in the first place, and tries ripping them off. Gets really antsy when his friend is like, oh, I was planning to sell them, at 20 a piece for you. And he's like, 20 a piece? I was thinking, $1 a piece. This is the kind of guy he is. Every time, a conversation goes above $20, he gets very finicky about spending money. So we don't have any clue what his budget is. It seems like it's lower than it actually seems, I guess. I don't know. They might just be making shit up along the way. It's hard to say. And so this is the kind of guy he is. To catch you up. So now he's, done griefing his friends for video games, and now they're actually on the road picking up games from various stores and store owners. And most of them have been pretty nice so far. I've actually rewinded it a little bit for people to catch up and get the flow of everything that's going on, since, some new folks are going to be coming in and everything. Yeah, it's very rare to see him call out prices. Yeah, it's not like today where the prices of the games are $2,000. But that is where we actually ended up getting cut off on. So if you stick around, you're going to see a part that made me scream before my stream went down. So we'll see what happens there. But you already gave their pad weekend. Someone had apparently sold off their NES collection. A guy working there said it was a good 2/3 of the library. Pick to fix cars. Yo, that's insane, though. Holy shit. But I guess we all sometimes reach that point of why am I holding these things? I'm not playing them. I don't set them up in any sort of way. I don't use them. I collect vinyls, but I listen to the vinyls. I very much open those vinyls and listen to them often to give myself a very analog way of listening to music. I just enjoy doing that. I can't imagine having 600 games, or I guess in this case 400 games under my belt, and deciding that I'm going to play any modicum of them. I have a very carefully crafted selection of music available to me at all times. Jay's suck-ass saga. What have we learned today? Nothing yet. It's all just a recap because Tina pulled in some cool people into the chat, and I tried to catch everyone up, make sure that everyone knows what kind of person J Josh is. And we rewinded it a little bit too, so that there's going to be a little bit of ramp up to understanding the ways of J Josh. Also, thank you for hitting that shout out to Tina. I completely charfed that one. Yeah, if you're not following Tina for some reason, which we have a very interconnected group of folks, definitely give Tina that follow. She absolutely deserves it. This angle doesn't look like he's covering his face about to rob us. Look, if Jay Josh wasn't so antsy about spending $20 on anything, he might buy a gun so he could rob the store. He might be that cheap. We'll never know. He can't afford he can afford it. I'm sure his budget covers it. He just doesn't want to. Put the NES games in the bag and no one gets hurt. Doesn't sound like that at all. He doesn't sound any close to that whatsoever. And then I guess the rest of the documentary to cover up everything is that they keep getting interviews with people that don't really have anything to do with anything. This hilariously includes Billy Mitchell and Tommy Tallarico. But remember, 2012, so everyone's still praising them at this point of life. And the most infuriating one to me so far was when they're like talking about like, well, no, the NES has really great music. There's Zelda and Mario. And I am just dying from the inside. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. At least one guy saying the open world or overworld theme from TMNT. So I'm like, okay, that's at least not the lowest bar possible. And they sing the tunes. Yeah, they also sing the tunes. So it feels like they're really hurting for content in this quote-unquote documentary. No Star Tropics. You think they've heard of Star Tropics? You think... That's sweet, Toro. That's really sweet. That'd be great if they heard of Star Tropics. No, we got Mario 1. Not even Mario 2. Not even Mario 2. Not even Mario 3. Mario 1. With the do, and then you have to watch the closed captioning try to make the music. Silly bitches. I've never heard anyone call him that, and that's really good. That's so good. Didn't remember the Mitchell camel. It was very, very early in. It was very early in. I mean, like I said, we're like 20 minutes in, so he might come back. We'll see. All right, well, I think I've caught you all up. Here's hopefully the rest. If my internet does not crash of Nintendo Quest, well, I continue my Monster Quest. Carlos Job, who's being sued by Mitchell. That's funny. I'm not a big fan of Carl, but I do hope he wins as well. I don't like Carl for reasons outside of whatever Carl has apparently actually done. I just legitimately don't like him. I just don't like his cadence, his videos, the way he talks about stuff. I just don't like him. I shouldn't judge by just a few videos on the internet, but I have nothing else to go off of, and I'll probably never meet the guy. And if I do, maybe I'll change my opinion. But it sounds very likely that I just don't want to even talk to him. Well, there's that. Well, then there's also that, then I guess, too. He won't even talk to me, possibly. Well, if you have enough money to delay forever, the other guy runs out first. Yeah, that's timer scamming in court. All right, let me get this video started so I can start dying in Monster Hunter. Actually, I can probably win this fight, but you know how it is. Anything can happen. All right. Oh, wait, no. Actually, I'm gonna start a little bit further away. I'm gonna start right here. Day 5. We're at day 5. And I'm gonna adjust the volume. All right. How's this for balancing? Also, what's up, Scruffo? Good to see ya.
Working in a game store just because if it's your hobby, it's a job where you're surrounded by your hobby, and it's really interesting.
You got nothing else, eh? Nothing in the back. No
More juice. We can give it more juice. Not much more juice, but more juice.
The store, the guy was great, willing to work with me, knew my quest, knew what I needed to get out of there.
All right, sound guy Artesian. How we feeling?
A couple of the more common ones you have here.
Seems fine. All right, yeah.
The wacky races
Amagon, right?
The rest of the people, honestly, were a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
The one guy even had to call the owner of
We're
the
a
shop,
bunch of dicks because I did.
The high-priced games I wanted, they weren't willing to budge a cent, and their big excuse was because they don't make them anymore.
Like a completely reasonable thing to argue. I have a rare game that I can't get more of. No, I will not budge on the price.
No. Okay, fair enough, man.
Yeah, no, he actually said
These
this is
lap-
$100. He pointed at that when it said it's $100.
There was definitely some
which,
tension when he's like, no, we're
at
not
that time, I'm like,
budgeting. And then
that
you
seems
didn't even ask
really
us in
good.
games.
It turns me off. As soon as if they're not gonna work with me, I'm not gonna work with them. I'm not gonna give those people my business.
Seems good.
because
All right,
The
sweet.
game I wanted was a 9 out of 12.
Is that
It's
still
not that
unreasonable to
we're
him?
gonna
Yeah,
follow.
this
It's
guy's
not like the
just.
stadium events. If that's the case, that's a different story.
This guy's just. And this guy,
My
like,
gut says
keep
that
that in
you
mind. If his stadium
Might have to
events,
change that tactic at some point.
if his stadium
Oh, I
events,
guess we'll see
that would be different. Keep that in mind. That'll bring us down to day 6, and I'll get my game
Hi, my
restarted.
friend.
Here.
I think I've got a few. I kind of just want to see where you're at
Okay.
for pricing. That will definitely determine what I'm doing with more of the columns.
Yeah, you're making this harder on yourself. Exactly.
Probably do
It's like
10 a piece on them.
you are
Probably like-
you are believing in yourself a little bit too much there, buddy.
So what are we looking at then for?
Yo, Juicy at the same time. Hell yeah! Ah! I'm being tackled. Yo, what's going on? How you doing, fam? Thank you for bringing your community in with mine. Don't mind me. I'm just hunting monsters in the corner here while
So
we
that
watch
definitely
this
changes everything. It's a much better deal than we had so
documentary
far.
of sorts
Thanks, dude.
about a
Appreciate
guy
it.
trying to collect the
So now
entire
we're really gonna have to
NES
live if time's a factor,
library
'cause there's a ton
in
here.
30 days or less. In 2012, mind you. So, this is actually a viable ask, assuming he has a decent amount of money. But what's going on with you? I saw you playing orange juice, 100% orange juice. And I got very worried. But then I'm like, let's be real here. Juicy would win.
This is by far the best deal we've got so far. I'd be an absolute fool not to take it. So, yeah, so we got 78 off
So that
bonus,
brings
yeah.
us over 300 now.
Yep.
In 5 days.
It's very
Go back to
good.
my PG. Now you're invested. Don't be
You know
invested
what?
too hard, right?
It's 12:42.
Barbie
day
acquired,
6.
yeah.
Turning
Barbie,
into
that
day
Barbie's got to be
7.
worth a lot now.
Here we are in Pittsburgh.
Gonna make a killing on that alone.
People, and now we have an opportunity to talk about acquiring stadium events.
Something worth addressing. We're gonna call Josh Jones.
Oh man, that's why I had Josh in the
Who has
mind.
a copy for sale, and he also.
Bosses in
messaged
the
us and says he has a lot of other NES games for sale that we probably
Say
don't
the
have.
price,
so-
he won't do it.
Let's call him up.
All
We're
right.
on speakerphone.
So this is where we left off last
And we
time.
get his story of how he got
Right
to
about.
stadium events.
Let's do that.
Ow.
Hi, is Josh there, please? Hey, Josh, it's Jay from the
Have you
NES
seen
Club.
this
How are you,
man? Yeah. We're all looking for Josh.
So we have a mutual friend.
This copy is
Todd Rogers there,
1335?
who says you have
Okay.
A few games you're looking
It hasn't
to,
it hasn't
sell. One of
made
them
a
might be
full circle
Stadium
yet with
Events.
the hype of the movie, which is a shame.
So Stadium Events was produced by Bandai. It was a track and field type game that used the Power Pad, Bandai's own Power Pad. Got released very briefly. Nintendo said,
Todd
"Look,
Rogers
we
shout out.
basically want that game as our own, rebranded it World Class Track Meet, and bundled it with the Power Pad. So
I mean,
Stadium
that's
Events is
that's
very
true.
rare because there wasn't
That
many
would
produced,
still be
and there wasn't
a
many
huge
that got
return.
actually shipped.
Ah,
As you
fuck.
can see,
They
I
blocked
brought
that somehow.
a eBay auction up here.
Yeah.
This one is the NTSC,
70
Minton box for
$77,000 in
$77,000.
2012 money.
which is
Oh god.
pretty expensive if you ask me. But
Okay, that could have been worse.
this
I
is
could
an
probably
extreme
steal that,
example,
though.
but this gives you the idea, the rarity, and the crazy eBay prices. And the thing is, there have been lots like this sold on eBay.
Yeah, and they've sold on eBay. These have sold.
There's no tears, there's no cracks,
Now this is
original.
just the cart, right? The NTSC cart.
Yeah.
There's no book, there's no box, obviously, with it.
Yeah, I trust me, I wish I had all that. But
Right. So let me get this straight. 100%. Let me hear what you're gonna sell it to me for.
100% would not go lower than $4,050.
Which is
What
like
about,
an extreme
35?
fraction of the actual value. And he's just fucking.
Come on,
What
man.
about
Let's
35,
see.
man? Come on, man! Come on, man!
Let you have it for $2,000.
Come on, man! Come on, man! What do you mean you won't
Yeah,
sell
I'm
it for
gonna
an
definitely have
even
to think
lower
about
price?
Just got off the phone with Josh Jones, who's in Florida. Who's a really good friend with Todd Rogers. He has stadium events. Here's the kicker. He wants
Is a
quite bit
staggering
for it.
discount.
A
He
tad
wants
more
quite a
than
bit
it's
for
worth.
it. Yeah, he has one of the fucking rarest games out there. He can go online and see the value.
Maybe let's say you don't get little Samson by 30 days. Are you still satisfied?
He
Well, that's not
knows
everything.
Todd Rogers.
And that's what the challenge was. But it's always come down to, and it's always been me saying those
Everybody's
two.
looking at stadium events. I think they're looking more at that than the completion. Everybody's talking about stadium events.
He's
I'm
like,
gonna
well, I just want to
start
give you
right now with his
$35.
negotiations.
Just leave.
And I can't blame the guy.
Go back home.
Because I wouldn't either. This is like the game of all video games to get. Within reason. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of the holy grails. So
So do you get it while you still have funds left over? Can you
Yeah,
negotiate
exactly.
your
I need to know how
Or do
much
you get it when you're against
this is going to
someone
affect
that's
your
the
budget
only
for
game
this
left,
challenge,
you might
this
not have
arbitrary challenge that you and your friends
What's
are
your
doing.
heart telling you right now?
You got to tell me.
to do it.
Damn. That's shocking that, like, it is dropped in price that much, considering, you know, inflation.
Hey Josh, what's up, man?
Not much.
How much you called me 5 minutes ago? Don't talk to me.
So I think we're gonna get Todd coming down to 29.
I'm going to call Todd.
The 31st of August.
I'm going to call Todd.
Are you okay to give him the cart then?
Yeah, I'll see him before. Let's see here. We'd have to try to meet up somewhere because, let's see.
Well, yeah, he's coming the 31st, so I would need him to bring the cart with him, and if that's the case, then you have a deal. You said 4,000.
Oh, that's just for the cart. Oh, gotcha.
$50.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm not gonna make one penny off you.
Thanks, Josh. Talk
Damn.
to you soon, brother.
Bye bye. Thanks a
Okay.
lot, man. You guys be safe.
Yep. Bye bye.
Yeah, you're gonna, Josh is gonna come down at this time and date. Just show up. Nothing will go wrong.
What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. I'm like, my voice is gone.
I'm so distraught that I managed to get one of the rarest games of all.
Get a second win from that?
Yeah, I probably won't sleep tonight. That was I wasn't expecting that tonight. I mean, from the beginning of this
Yeah,
journey, we
at
probably
3
had everything
a.m.
up to this
Josh
is
is,
how we go.
as you know,
And everything has just
we're
been
just a little bit of a night out. That's why I'm calling you at
everything we've
midnight.
seen.
Oh, I didn't run out of.
It's
I
done.
did. Fuck. Well, good for him. He got it. It was any car I bought. Yeah. Could get 2 cars with that almost. Damn near. Yo, what's up, llama? How you doing? All right, I lost my monster. Great it is. It's almost 60K.
Okay,
Jeez.
so Little Samson is number
Collector
1.
shit is
Bonk's
insane.
Adventure is number 2. Panic Restaurant is number 3.
Something
Jetsons is
nation
in the
on the
top
list.
5 for sure.
Collectors
I think I'm
stuff
gonna
is
be
weird.
able to work
Collecting
with
stuff
Darren.
is
He
weird.
seems
That's all I
pretty
gotta
reasonable.
say. Collecting
And
stuff
I'll
is
just say
fucking
this for the
weird.
record,
I don't
he only
get
had one that was
how these
above.
prices end up.
Everything else is far below
Motherfucker,
what
you
it's
get
worth
back
in
down
that
here.
app. So already, I'm ahead.
The decent price games weren't the whole story, though. Darren,
Oh, I
the
gotta
owner
get
of
it.
Warp Zone, also made it known to us that a rival collector had been waiting for his large shipment of NES titles, and that he had been planning to scoop up the best games before Jay could arrive. And it seems he succeeded. Moreover, this rival Lex Luthor-like game collector
Lex
was still
Luthor-like
there,
game
and he had been
collector.
lurking in the background watching our every single move during Jay's hunt.
One of the 5 we were talking about earlier was there. There was a copy of the Jetsons.
Took a third off the bar. Yeah,
unfortunately,
the estimated
we
third
were
off the bar.
a
We don't know
little bit
how
too late.
accurate this bar
One
is
of the
either.
regulars there scooped it up at
God.
about 9 or 10 a.m. this morning. We were there about 2 hours
That was almost
later.
bad.
Jetsons was a game I've been looking for since I was maybe 9 or 10. I've been collecting since I was little. And
Yeah, but Jay John's has
seeing
been looking
that
for
and
it since
knowing
like
that you guys are
a
gonna have
week
lot of
ago.
fun
Come
games like
on,
this,
come on.
I figured, okay, it's no skin off of your guys' back in theory.
What was great is
Yeah.
that we did talk to him because he was in there when we were filming, and he said, you know what, if you guys really, really, really want it, we'll cancel the transaction and I'll give it to you for what I paid for it. Now, I'm a collector, obviously, and this guy was a fellow collector.
Zombie
and I
Nation
just
Samurai
didn't
Nation is
feel right
420. What? I'll take it for a cent off.
You got 30 days.
I'll take
Yeah,
it for a
but
cent off.
You were coming
It's gonna be perfect.
and he still scooped it up.
That's not my personality, man.
But we talk about collector etiquette, right?
Yeah? I have it.
I
I
have
wanted to jump on
it.
an opportunity
I
as
have
soon as I saw
it,
it.
bro.
I think karma in any form is there. I mean, collecting karma, that's a good terminology. I've never heard it before. so-
$69
honest, you guys got
deal.
games I-
This is gonna be the best deal of all
You guys are
time.
villains.
you know, collectors are collectors. They're going to do what they got to do to get their collection complete, too, just like I'm doing what I have to do.
I mean, I've been doing this my entire life.
Do what I have to do,
so that I
except
don't
for
think it's
the, you know,
different
paying the
with
money
what
part.
I've done
Outside
for
that
the
part.
past 22 years. Think ahead. Come on.
This whole Jetson saga with JD was leaving a bad taste in my mouth, but that didn't keep Jay down. Jay had a plan, and while it was a long shot, it might just nab him Jetsons by the end of the day.
So the Jetson saga.
I will say they are
continues.
making
Should've been
leeway in
Cincinnati,
terms of actually
possibly
collecting
even on
games.
our way to Indianapolis, but here we are still in Columbus. What happened?
What happened was pretty straightforward. We had a few shops we still wanted to hit.
Call Jay a
Instead of Jay
villain.
just worrying about the games that he needed, we also found
Everyone's
out
in
about a
villain
couple
mode
games
right
left
now.
on JD's game list, and we just happened to find one.
And we were looking for games for me and my quest, and we came upon that little guy right there, Snow Brothers. Now, I've already collected this pretty early in the journey. Rob thought it would be a great idea to pick it up so we can use it for trading, and guess what? It's about to pay off.
The saga
well,
is almost
I'll
complete.
give it to him. That's smart for this sort of
Jetsons has
thing.
returned to the table.
Out in the wild today, we found a Capcom classic, Snow Brothers, and we used it for trade with JD here to get the Jetsons back and a couple of titles for Rob as well. So with that,
Okay. To you for these 3 titles.
JD was sad to see Jetsons go so soon, but he knows he got a great game in Snow Brothers.
I'm in
Side note,
villain mode,
he asked us
Amber.
to make him as
You're
villainous
you're
as
the most
possible in the film.
anti-villain mode
But
person
even
I
though
didn't
we've
even
shown he
know.
doesn't do his evil deeds and
What's
dastardly
up, Amber? How
schemes
you doing that?
justice. If you're a collector, you better
They
watch your back
need
for a guy
it.
named JD Lowe. He's pure evil.
It was your friend energy. It definitely, like I said, it's a very entertaining video. It's something I
yeah,
enjoy
I got a
yelling
phone
at.
message from a number
I'm not going to take that away from them. It's
listened to the
sure
message, and it was Josh.
it makes me bleed a little bit in my
Basically,
stomach to call it a documentary.
really,
but
really
it's
wants
still
to be
an
involved with the
entertaining
film.
video.
I don't know if it might be a cancellation of the deal, but he also said to sweeten the deal that he has Little Samson.
Little Samson is the side-scrolling platformer reminiscent of the Mega Man series, but like Jetsons, published by Taito late in the NES run.
Wait, excuse me,
As
published
Jay
by
said
who?
before, this is in his top 3 games to get.
Sorry,
and one
game.
that he
Sorry,
would personally
video.
hunt
What'd you call him? What'd you say?
Reminiscent of the Mega Man series, but like Jetsons, published by Taito late in the
Taito?
NES run. As Jay said before,
Taito.
this is in his top 3
Like
games
potato.
to get, and one that he's
Got
been personally
you.
hunting for
Just
years.
checking. All right, let me
Hi,
go back to the
Josh,
game and
please.
immediately probably die.
Hey Josh, it's Jay calling you back. How are you, man?
Oh, hey, dude. What I was saying is, if you want to send me a list of the stuff maybe the more rare stuff you're looking for, because like I said, I got at least probably 500 Nintendo games here.
Yeah, potato.
The one you did
Yo, what's up,
mention
Starjammer? How did
on
you
the
do it?
voice message
Or
there
how
was
you
Little
doing?
Samson.
The Saturday
Um,
Click Cleaner, he responded
what are you
to the
looking
offer
at for
of
that
4,000 whatever dollars by saying, "What? Come on! I was thinking like $35. Come on, man!"
650 or 7 and just wait for the right person.
Little Samson, I have
It's just
seen
like, oh
actually
my
a couple
God,
through my
please.
tracks.
Be a
I've
little bit
seen
more
one
likable.
Pretty high, about 8, which was way overpriced, and I've seen one as low.
Oh
as
wow, yeah, but
300.
you know, Jay's
So,
not the
I'm
villain.
looking at
Jay's not
spending
the
about
villain,
three-
and he's still gonna play the 4K,
400
right? Yeah,
bucks.
he's always gonna play the 4K. Also, now Jay's
Well,
just
I mean, you
bullshitting.
have to understand, man. I mean,
Jay's just
that's
lying.
Not a small chunk of change I'm paying,
Good.
especially with the budget I have. So,
Yeah.
and you know, we obviously appreciate it
You know,
and all
Tato
that.
boy in the
Little
mustache. I'm
Samson,
sticking
I'm
it
gonna have to
in.
think about it. I'm not saying no
Fuck, I
at this
can't.
point, but I'm
I'm
definitely
trying to
gonna
focus.
I
I'm
really
laughing
need
too
to
much
be
at that
honest,
cry roll.
it's-
Ow.
He
Oof,
wants to
ow,
be
oof,
involved. He
ow.
wants us to come to Florida. We're not going to go to Florida, right? I mean, it's just not in the roots, not in the budget. So
What's the
at the end
budget?
of the day, I mean, there's no legal contract. There's no eBay contract or anything, obviously. So if he pulls out, he pulls out. I can't do anything about that. So
The next few days went by fast, but that doesn't mean it was uneventful. First, we hit Cincinnati.
so for the last few days of this leg of the journey, I'm really putting on the brakes. What's going on, man? How are you? Yeah. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Ooh, yeah. Donkey Kong 3. It's the first time I think we've seen that. There's that Tom
Ooh,
Sawyer
Wolverine
again.
has great music
Totally.
by Tim
Need
Follin,
to get that.
and that's all I know.
King
I mean, I've
Craze,
seen
I think
Wolverine
that's
played
a
at
rare
least.
one. I'm gonna quickly just
Not
look
good.
these up. Maybe the Dragon Warrior, and I'm pretty much done here. So.
Gilligan's Island had a game? I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm still mildly surprised.
but they were all fairly uncommon titles, so that was cause to celebrate.
Yeah,
NES
say he
Club
said
style
no,
at
and
an
you're-
arcade.
yeah,
The late night
how
fun
does
dinner
this
raced the early
work?
morning trip to Indianapolis.
North American deals be wildin' out here.
The first time we actually.
You know this game swap? Oh shit.
Up until now, I've
Oh hell yeah.
something from each
I mean, it
swap.
must be cool to see some of these places like in the wild, like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the last stop on the first road trip, the Gibraltar Trade Center. This is a huge stop for Jay because when he gets
See,
back
you're not
home,
responding.
he
You
will
the
lose
foremost streamer of this
several
game.
days of hunt due to an increased
I
work
admittedly
schedule.
one, I
So he's
missed it,
gotta
but
make the
two,
most
I
of
would
this
prefer to
last
ignore it as
opportunity.
well.
Yeah, there's a
I
couple
also
of,
would prefer to
there's actually
ignore
been
the existence
4 or
of
5 pins here, so take a couple
James
minutes to
Bond
go through.
Jr..
I'm guessing these are
Wish to
the
pretend that doesn't exist if possible.
uncommon ones. So Dusty Diamond, that's one of the 20.
One is to help people out of Florida. That's
Don't worry about
right.
that. Works fine. That's it.
Jay could have been the hero.
Actually,
Jay
all the
Josh
stuff
could have
I
been the
got here is
hero, but
uncommon,
no.
so I'm really glad we spent the last day.
He
and,
just stiffed some guy
enjoy it.
in Florida
It's gonna
instead.
be a lot of organizing the collection.
Chip
I
played
just wanna
Gilligan's
make sure
Island and it
everything's
sucked.
accounted
All right,
for.
I'm glad that I'm not missing out
Definitely
on
gonna start
anything.
Cleaning a lot of them, because germaphobe.
All right, I need to throw another paintball when I get the chance.
To help understand and maybe appreciate what Jay's going through
Oh,
on his
yeah,
quest, I thought
yeah.
it would be great to speak to some other
least I think it's
collectors
his
in the
nephew. I actually
Nintendo
don't remember.
community and get their take on the collecting process.
course,
and
he's
how
a
they approach
hero.
finding the items they
Well, I
want
can't
with the
I can't
money they
argue
have.
results
The
there.
first thing I need to identify when I go through the door is where's the classic.
Oh, you
games,
gotta be
where
kidding
you
me.
have your Intellivision games, your Atari 2600 games, your NES games.
It's hard when you actually find the item because then if it's not up to your standards, it's a little disappointing.
Okay.
Someone comes in here and says to me, hey, I have a rare title. First thing, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I'm like, all right, let's go see this thing.
Of course, you got
Ow.
the stadium events and all those ones that are just, forget it. It's out of the question.
Ow.
If the price point is right, it's.
We're in a
it's mine.
documentary.
I'm
Do
taking it
had
with
talking
me.
interviews
It's
with other
coming home with
collectors.
me.
Yeah.
If something big that I've been looking for forever,
It's just a lot of,
sitting
like-
in front of me, and even if it's like $20,
It's not even storytelling. It's just, I'm more interested in hearing about these folks like in like a long form
I
format.
saw stadium events, I wouldn't be one that could even think about buying it, even if there was a line of people waiting for it and I had it in my hands. It's just too expensive. I couldn't live with myself or my wife and my kids in the house.
Depending on
See,
the
this
phone.
guy has
Right
values.
now, on top of the world. Talk to me a year ago, yeah, price meant everything because I didn't have any money.
Collecting takes a long time to get to the point where you want to have your collection exactly where you want it to be.
What's that?
Oh my God! Look at that dog.
Get it all in your mouth. There
Give
you
me a
go.
documentary about this
Well,
dog.
I've learned
Stat.
You never know really what to expect. There's been so many times we've thought this was going to go one way and it goes the other way.
Finally, the
Or, oh, that
documentary
will
is
never
worth
happen,
it.
happened.
Now it's a documentary.
Definitely my negotiating
Finally,
skills, which I had
the
zero of
documentary is
before.
here.
I've never done that. I hope at least I've got better in that. I think I have.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the story for each cart, like what happened to this.
Look,
poor
IKEA
thing,
wasn't
why it's in
around
this
at this
condition.
time.
It's like
He
someone
can't
set
just grab a
sandwich on it,
cabinet
kinda.
really easily.
I can't get that off. I don't even know if it's blood. I don't even want to touch it.
No, he probably can't. He probably needs to go Target. Yeah, there's no budget. Yeah, sorry. Have you seen the budget
No,
bars
no,
of
not
late?
really.
What's that?
Pretty low. Don't think it's possible.
Just have
Don't
no
think
interest
don't think
in
it's gonna
doing that.
happen.
Why?
Just suffering from anxiety, as I do. I mean, I've started to have, over the last few years, anxiety being in cars. For some reason, it's really weird being in, like, the middle of an intersection at
Ow.
a stop sign. I don't know if I feel claustrophobic, but it's almost a feeling of, like, wanting to pass out.
Huh, okay.
It's strange, and I'm afraid, to be quite honest, that in itself is getting
That's
out of control.
that's
I can't
bad.
imagine
You should have
being
spent that
into
money
being
on
that
maybe
high.
therapy?
I don't know, man.
Maybe therapy?
There's one other subject that gives Jay anxiety.
I guess if it's working for you, I don't know. I can't
30 years. We've only talked about
argue
it once.
results.
My dad it was a different story. We didn't get along at all, ever.
His dad was his dad, but Bob never understood, and he wouldn't sit down and try and play a game or anything like that, which was too bad.
He wanted me to be something that I wasn't. And when I
Take
told him
a
who I
minute.
was, I was,
Yeah, this is the humanization part of the film now.
He didn't want anything to do
He's
with
not
it.
a villain. He
He made
has
it quite clear.
He has a reason. He has
I
a
remember getting
purpose
up
doing this.
And he was walking back and forth upstairs. He's just like,
An
I don't
Undertaker.
feel
If the
good, I
Undertaker
don't
was
feel
interesting,
good,
the
I don't
guy
feel
wasn't
good."
this guy.
And
I feel like
you
they should
know,
have started with this like a lot
my dad always had
earlier.
101 excuses why.
I don't know.
he didn't
I'm
wanna
not a
work. There was
documentarian,
something
I
that
guess.
couldn't work. Always in and out of jobs.
Because I would feel a lot more for
And
him at
so
this
I
point
get
if
up
I
and,
had
you
this
know,
on the forefront.
say a few
So we
choice
just a lot
words,
cheaper
like,
than
you
cart
know, you're
collecting.
just faking it or
At
whatever.
least at least in the short run.
And I remember going back to
once
sleep.
once
and then I
weed
heard,
becomes
like,
super bougie.
downstairs, just like it was probably the loudest noise I've ever heard in my life.
Jeez.
And then my mom just screaming. And so the rest of that is like
Your first year cost 3.5K.
slow
Damn, that must be.
motion
I assume that's high quality at least. I should
kind
say.
of,
I hope it's high
experience. So I
quality. Let's put it
rushed
that
down,
way.
he's laying there
Because I have
on the floor.
never had an idea of how
We
much a
didn't know
fursuit
what to
actually
do.
costs. I
I
just
don't
know,
know
like,
what
I
to
look
do.
at them like,
So
damn, that looks like it's
it
expensive
was,
and nice.
January is freezing cold. I ran outside in my bare feet. I went.
There's so much
my
more
neighbor
about
was
this
a
guy.
nurse. I
Right?
got her. I went and got Norm. I don't know why I got Norm, but I did.
But it's just like,
And so rushed
we
back.
went from haha funny adventure to
And,
very
Norm tried to
heavy-handed
revive him, and that was
history
it. He
about his
just
dad. It's like,
wasn't
Jesus,
coming back.
fuck.
He was gone. And
I mean,
just
I'm
had
sorry. Like, don't get me
something
wrong here.
that it was over, you know, that we were free, that my mom and I were free.
But I feel like there's something deeper underlying now.
He was a tyrant. He was awful.
I feel like there's just something a little bit
worst
more
person I've
deeper
ever met in my
underlying
life.
that needs to be solved for
It was
him.
hard because
That
he
this
lost
video game
his
Quest for
man,
Friends
who he loved
is
dearly. And then
really
Pop and
band-aiding,
his dad.
I guess is the best
So
word I'm looking for here.
he doesn't handle that well. Like, God forbid I should ever get really
Sweet.
sick. I don't know what he'd do.
Yeah, time and place. Like, legitimate time and place. Because remember, he's not directing this either. So this is not exactly his choice. This is his friend's choice. Is saying, you should talk about your dad here. And now there's Jar Jar Binks. Suddenly, Jar Jar Binks is here too. God damn it.
Negotiations of stadium events have taken a...
yeah, that's a terrible fucking follow-up. It's a terrible fucking follow-up. Dog.
Now
It's a horrible fucking follow-up. How did this happen? Jar Jar is his new
send the
dad.
money
Jar Jar fucks.
without having received the game. If I give it to Todd with no money up front and something happens, I'm out the game and the money. So what about me? Question mark. Again, another reason that you guys should come here. It's the most important part of the film and the most important game in the film, and you're not even going to be here to get it. Either way, I don't know you, plus you live in another country, so if you guys tamper with it and something goes wrong, what am I going to do with a damaged game? And I write, Josh, we've already found one fake on our journey so far, and I'm not accusing you of that by any means. If you send the game with
I'm just
Todd
listening
and
to
it
this.
checks out, he will bring you the money as planned. That's the only way this will work. If you don't trust it, I understand. Todd is your friend. He's not going to let anything happen to it. Trust me, man. I want this game. What's going on? We sent a bunch of messages back and forth today, and we're
Yeah, meet halfway like in Kentucky. Yeah, but then the guys get like, well, then if I'm gonna be traveling for this very rare game, throw an extra like $100 for my gas or something on there. He's gonna be like, no. I'm just really guy, John Rogers. Also, yeah, Todd's in the middle. Todd's also in the middle. So it's like,
I do understand your point.
this
man.
guy
I
who's
do,
selling the
but
game.
I can't send $4,000.
But I can send my friend Todd Rogers to some guy I don't know, and Todd might get stabbed. My great friend Todd might get stabbed.
A bootlegger or anything like that. Just this is the most expensive game I've ever bought.
Yeah, you can't just a guy named Todd. Yeah, that's how eBay works.
I know,
Furthermore,
Josh,
yeah.
and dude, believe me, man. If I'm a gamer and you're a gamer, and it's not personal, man. But we're talking 4,000 and JPEGs on the internet. You know, I can't just go on that, man. And there's no legal binding document. There's no eBay or anything, Amazon or anything like that. This is coming from guy to guy kind of thing.
That's still eBay.
So you've had a few fakes then.
No fakes. I'm saying as far as like, yeah, I've never had a fake one, like April Fool's, or I've never had any kind of stadium events in my hands besides this real one here. I'm saying I paid for other ones.
I feel like you need to go down there and like solve the problem for yourself.
Well, brother, you just said it, man. Then you know exactly how I feel. I think we've kind of both made up our minds here, man. We should probably.
Yeah, he could have made money with JPEGs on the end. Yeah, he doesn't realize the market he accidentally tripped on. Josh's friend is not Jay's. Not Jay's friend. Okay. He just knows Todd. I'm a game seller, brother. Let's just get with the program.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I mean, if things drastically change, send me a message. I'll think about it. But as of right now, we'll call it off, man. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's fine with, like, not selling you the game. Man from Canada. Speaking of people from Canada, yo, it's Red May Susie, maybe the coolest gamer in all of Canada. What's going on? How did your Toho training go? As we watch this guy lose his stadium events, fade into obscurity. Canada located. The bar went up. The bar went up. We still so that amount of going up was $4,000 something. So this guy went in with maybe like $30,000, $40,000 maybe. Bullets were successfully held. Hey, I love to hear that. That's some good shit out there. I'm glad that you were able to successfully hold those bullets and put them into the dumpster exactly where they belong. What's up, Toast? What's up, Volt Gloss? Hopefully you all having a good one. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing your community in with mine.
Majority of the ones that I talk to, or
he's a world record holder, John Pompa.
John Pompa holds over 20 world records.
Damn.
More than a handful on titles from the NES library.
You can.
See, they had a world record holder earlier, and they didn't say what he was a world record holder of, I don't think. I think they just like, he's a world record holder of what? This guy's great. This guy's a world record holder. More Toho in the future. It's like, it's fun. It's fun for me to watch, because I'm dog water at Toho. So, like I said, I like watching people play better and gooder than I can. I can live vicariously through you.
When I found out I was in the Guinness book, I called everybody I knew.
He doesn't have a Pompadour. Amber's like, I'm going to sue John Pompa. John Pompa is going to receive an email right now. Really upset about this.
Kramer also holds some legendary records, most notably high score with 1 life on Super Mario
Has
Brothers
Twin
2,
Galaxies card? What is
the
that?
most popular NES title of all time.
You can get good at a certain type of game, but the real test of a master is their ability to learn and to adapt to new play styles and new.
I mean, I guess that works. I don't know. I guess I have the technology on my side. I can just put everything into like a Google document and share it with the world. It's just weird to watch someone like draw a platform and be like, I press the buttons here, here, and here. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel the need to write that down. But once again, I'm not a world record holder, so I can't really talk.
Represents a
Twin Galaxies is so funnily aged. This video is come from 2012, I should say. So there's a lot of like bits and pieces here and there that are very hilariously aged in like modern day, 10 years later.
Getting in the Guinness Book of World Records pales in comparison to beating out a million other people at NWC the way Thor did.
Yeah, he's holding a world record book in his hand. Yeah, definitely not like anyone else we know nowadays. This is why I watch Evo exactly. What's the speed run on the new 2012 Batman game? Yeah, is this man lying? We gotta find out the answers. Oh shit, the Wizard. I actually looked up the Wizard on YouTube videos to see if it was for free so I could watch it on here. I can't.
There's never been
it ain't free. It ain't free.
To the scale ever attempted again, because it shouldn't be 23 years later that there's still nothing like it.
It's day 19 and Jay's headed back to ANC Games in Toronto. Last time he was here, he focused on the rare games. This time, he knows he can't leave any game behind. And since time is of the essence, Jay's employed the film's producer, Mike Frusios, to help him track the day's acquisitions.
Oh my god, he got the mass muscle game. Nice. Yo, you know that place? See? Good Canadian just dropped it in the chat. It's already dropping the good knowledge. Hell yeah. Guinness World Records Gamer Edition is forever tainted by that one video of Tommy Tallarico. Yeah, 100%. And we already saw Tommy Tallarico in this video earlier as well. So this video is now forever tainted by Tommy Tallarico as well from the future. Was a Mel? Or Melly Mel?
It's been replaced. Stock up is now the most rare.
Hope you're having a good one.
It's
such a good video. I could literally watch that video. I mean, I could rewatch any of his videos, mind you, but
offered a very uncommon kind of treasure. Near mint condition NES game boxes.
Wow.
Very expensive.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Those retro stores for those rare gem cards.
Yo, Tlarn!
It's kind of those things I
hunting those retro
like
stores for the rare gem cards. Tlarn, I hope you have a delicious breakfast, but you like slightly singe your tongue just a little bit for that one. Tlarn, thank you for 36 whole days of subscription. Hell yeah, that is goddamn bonkers that we've gotten this far in streaming times, and I greatly appreciate that. How are you doing, fam? Hopefully you're having a good one.
Someone who has an understanding of box art is illustrator Mark Erickson. Mark's responsible for the artwork on games like Tengen's Tetris,
Hey, see a site of FGC locals? At least it was really. Oh shit, I did not know that. That rules. Holy shit. FGC history. I love seeing FGC history. That stuff gets me like real excited. Since I mean, I'm not young anymore in the FGC, but I don't have that arcade or like, you know, smaller local history compared to like a lot of other places.
Was about the only thing sticks in my mind where they just led me in the wrong direction and had me do a piece of art that wasn't correct. Amazingly, the people that hired me.
This is actually interesting. Like, hold on, I got real invested here.
Neither one of them knew the game.
Yeah.
And we ran the beta version as I described to you, and nobody could see the little character well enough to know he had a cannon for an arm. And
that's fair.
Long story short, you know,
just give him a gun. Give Mega Man a gun. This guy's my hero. I love him. Like, I can't see shit on this screen. Just give him a gun.
As we march towards the inevitable future of digital-only games, the entire notion of boxes,
This dude
carts,
rules.
or manuals
Oh my
are
god, that's the kind of information.
with
That's the kind of
any
stuff I
real
want to
sense
know
of their
about.
history.
These are
They give the shittiest references ever. Yeah. The idea of a guy having a gun for an arm, completely out of the mind's world. Like, that is not in the mental palace. It does not exist. Years later, he realizes the error of his ways.
But when you actually physically look at a cartridge and you can see the picture of the game, you know which game it is, you can trade it with your friends or something.
I probably need more.
It's so much different than when it's invisible.
Why do kids nowadays want to play on the original console and have a piece of this? Multiple reasons. Because they weren't there, because they want to understand where it came from.
If someone were to show me a library of NES games in a file on their computer, I'm not impressed. If someone were to show me the artifacts.
Boy, 2012 was a super different time. It is insanely dripping with that sort of sauce. That is, well, 2012 was a really weird, different time. Oh yeah, that's a thing that we used to like, or that's a thing that we used to talk about. Oh, these people are still showing up into the scene because we still like them.
Day 21 means it's time for the second road trip. This time, we drive 12 hours the first day to end up in St. Louis. From there, we hit Dallas, Austin, Houston, and then on the way back home, we meet up with a pair of private collectors in Oklahoma City and Bedford, Indiana, respectively.
Going all the way to Texas?
This trip features
But
all
Florida's
of
too
driving,
far?
And like Jay predicted, there was a lot of running in and out of stores to see if they had the few select titles that he still needed. Here are some of the highlights in the first few days of the trip.
Yo, what up, boys? The master of gaming is here. The number one Canadian adjacent gamer is now here. What's up, boys? How you doing? Why did they get a picture of Jason looking like that? Oh my! Why did get him like that?
We met Jason, who's the owner of the
Sorry,
store.
that's. Why did they do him like that? Sorry, that's Red Maid Susie, by the way. I watched her play Toho today, and that's pretty damn good. You can be number 2 though. What's up, Kate? Canadian Jason. Yeah, you're close. You could walk into Canada if you work a little bit harder. Sorry, I had to get this image of Jason. They could have gotten any shot of this guy, and they decided to go with that one. Press X to Jason.
The best collection.
Jason.
He's cool too. He's like, no, I buy the game. to have it, and then I do the upgrades, you know. And if I see one with a better label or a better box, I upgrade that as well.
We were on the road.
I haven't seen Kate play Toho today. I haven't seen Kate play any video games today. She might not even be a gamer.
Patrick who's the kind of guy with his pulse on the world of gaming, and
No, she's
with
a hella
him
gamer.
some
She plays anime games and not the good ones.
Pull out. There's not a scorpion in there. No, there's not a
But I
scorpion
didn't
or
see
a
it
snake.
today.
Let's see what happens here.
So tomorrow will be better. Might be better.
So the first one we got is
The most
Strider.
2012 man.
Strider I have.
Okay.
Strider I do have.
Okay.
Pac-Man
Mondo
shirt
wings.
in Japanese, long hair.
Three Stooges, which
Jeez.
I do have.
Oh, man.
I do have.
But also, what's up? How you doing? Freaking possessed by gamer spirit.
Oh, look at that. Nope, don't have that one.
I think he is. Hold on, is he? Stand back up, coward. Yep, that's the. There they are. That's the Cheetah Man.
By Tato.
Karate cheetahs.
So man, I almost fell over when I pulled that one out.
Damn, he got him Panic Restaurant though. Oddly silent part. I feel like something's gonna happen here. I'm gonna get jump scared by video games.
What was that place like?
Expensive.
Expensive.
So yeah, $50.
Expensive.
For Donkey Kong and Might and Magic, I'm not too.
Donkey Kong and Might and Magic, like that seems reasonable in my head, even in 2012 money.
Point. I don't know how many more of these I want to hit. To be completely honest, I can't afford to be doing $50 for 2 games now at this point. And I mean, like,
Yeah,
like I said,
$50 for the rarest games I cannot find.
But it's expensive.
It's not a rare game, but it's expensive. That's why I don't have the game yet.
If we didn't have those 2 collectors in the works, that would be a different story. I think maybe we should call those guys and see what's up. See what they have.
I did see that the Zelda CI folks are making a new game. I
felt like
I am adjacently keeping news, and by that I mean someone's going to tell me one day that it's out, and I'm going to be like, oh shit, and then I'll stream it like the following week or something like that.
Sick about making purchases, and then moments later, pulls me
It's
aside
not too
and he wants
bad,
to
but
be
this
back
is
home a
still,
day
you know,
earlier
2012
for
money.
work.
We got to be
I'm not
fair
sure
here.
if it
This
was
is
a
2012 money,
miscommunication
and he
issue
has
or
an
not, but
unknown
I'm
amount
sure
of
the two
money
are
to
related.
use for that.
And now I've got to reconfigure
But yeah,
the
I
rest of the
also
strip in my head
absolutely do
as
want
we're
the Cheetah
about
Man
to pick
shirt.
up
Like
Todd
I would
Rogers
totally buy
from the
that.
airport.
We're about to pick up Todd Rogers from the airport. If it's worth like what you do, Ryu. Look, you're the one who has the most recent experience here, Toast. I need your opinion on this one.
Companies to play games because of his incredible skills at deconstruction.
You're starting Juan Gamelan? Oh, you did, I thought you. I figured you probably did Juan Gamelan already. I'm trying. I wanted to watch your Zelda's Adventure one
Some
though.
of the games you have the world record on.
Well, I have it on Zexon.
Yes.
Nerve,
All 500 games you collected. Stop.
I guess games on every one of these roads: Hubert, Pitfall, Laser Blast, Kangaroo,
You can't fool me. That's right. Not a fish. They don't keep an honest name like you. What's up? What's up, not a fish? How you doing? Even Solaris came out. Like, oh no, I was looking at the screen.
Working for Nintendo
Todd is here.
really cool because there were a lot of open-minded.
Zelda's Adventure between them. Oh, okay. Zelda's Adventure I have not played. I do want to play it though. So I can end on a good note. Fair enough. God.
With Todd part of the team for the day and Jay's honorary mentor, we
Yo, what's up,
traveled
kindness?
south,
How
a
you
stone's throw
doing?
away from the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't
to
know
check
every
out a
record,
brand
but
new game
enough.
over video
Enough of them
game
go like,
store.
well, if I can't believe all these records, then why would I believe anything else you have said?
Okay.
He probably has one record. The thing is, you start with like 1 or 2, and then you realize how hard this shit fucking is, and then you probably start making up stories along the way. You probably do one good thing, and then you go with it from there. I think of like DSP or Darkside Phil, who won one very scuffed tournament of Street Fighter 2, and mind you, probably a good player. Probably a great player at the time.
Just like that.
But then just kind of pushed more lies out in the way to keep relevance over time.
Found a couple real rare ones. Just go
Yeah, his first 1 or 2 are probably very legit. Like I almost have no doubt about that. I would trust it. If I had to trust anything, I would trust it.
But the big one we got was the Turtles Tournament Fighter.
Oh shit.
You lose everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I mean, it's a blast. I mean, it definitely beats
I keep forgetting that Turtle TMNT Fighting Edition has an NES
But
port.
just because Jay was done hunting games for the day doesn't mean we were done
you
hanging
can
out
throw
with
loops in that
Todd.
game.
That night, we had a blast at dinner. Todd called Twin Galaxies founder Walter Day, who then allowed Todd to unveil and present us with our own Twin Galaxies video game trading card. And of course, we got to play some games.
See, once again, there's a lot of things about this that are just really funny in 2012. Or extraordinarily funny in 2012.
I guess it's computers in the bathroom, so he's going over
Yeah,
to
he
the
got the
right
Got the drags to record Cosmic Crazy
You
Intelligence.
gotta sub, you gotta sub.
Josh, what's up? Speaking of gaming legends who don't have to lie about their accomplishments, we have the #1 gaming legend out here. What's up, Josh? How you doing? Featured on television. I can't believe it. I'll never forget. Speaking of 2012. How you doing, fam? Good to see you. Thank you for the 14 days. Holy shit. 2 weeks? That's a lot of days.
Doing well.
A lot of fucking days. What's going on? Hopefully work's not killing you too hard.
Yeah,
I've been missing you, buddy.
500, so I mean that's pretty good odds.
Well, I get to
We're
see
gonna
you
have
in
some
Florida
hopefully some of the big
in a
ones,
month.
and we get a good deal. Ready.
It's more Cosmic Rays.
Little Samson. Stadium events, Little Samson.
You got that bow tie, sun in your hand style card. Can accept rays. So I'm invested in this video, and that's why I'm not doing anything in Monster Hunter right now. Let me just do some classic
regular Nintendo stuff.
grabbing more item stuff because I cannot focus when this video's going now. I'm sorely invested in this. Like I said, this is a very entertaining video. I hate to call it a documentary, but it's a very entertaining video. It's gotta be worth at least $2, but it's digital. And like they said, they're not impressed with anything that's digital. They want the physical stuff, so it's not even worth the $2.
What's this one? What's that going for?
I probably wouldn't sell any of the reproduction stuff.
How much are your Zeldas, the classic ones?
Those probably aren't for sale.
So dare I ask?
I've never given anybody a price on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's interesting.
Color a dinosaur, yes!
Yeah. The power pad. So this is for use with stadium events.
Maybe I'm gonna decide this week. Yeah, I forgot. You're a later planner than I am. I need to know what I'm doing like 2 to 3 months ahead of time.
Dinosaur, which is a really
I
rare
hope
one.
the answer is
So
yes.
score there.
And if you do, and you're still lacking a hotel room, let me know.
What I'm starting to think now is
because
some of the
I
games that
currently have
thought
no one in my room.
I was gonna find everywhere. Are some of the
So
harder
it's like
ones to
cool.
get.
If I could split the cross even halfway, that'd be great. But if it's not meant to be, that's fine too. Colors of Dinosaur is fucking $146. Jeez. Also, thank you for keeping up tabs on like some of these prices as well. This is a lot of fun to have.
So this is almost.
Oops, I need to.
Almost my last hope here.
So put more conservation at the bottom. Claim the bounty for that one tick. On a warp glitch. Yes, exactly. God, I saw that video recently and
helping Jay's insane endeavor.
My NES collection encompasses all the North American released games, both licensed and unlicensed.
It's ran by an actual mom and pop where every game is in Nintendo section. Yeah, they need to get them really in the roots there, not just these collectors. They need to have mom and pop like, well, that used to be Johnny Boy's favorite game. Also, it's you for $70. It's like,
and he's gonna have everything, but oh, not for sale, not for sale.
Second, third streams. I guess my first playthrough. The Porsche got muted.
I want to get my hopes up, so it's kind of a
the overworld, the place where it is. What? You got muted for silence? What the fuck? That's hilarious in all the saddest ways possible.
Come on in.
Someone claimed silence. Church.com said the prices might be really low. That's fine. I prefer to have even a modicum of ideas of what some of these things are going on as well. It's really fun.
Yeah, you got a few things.
Don't look at me like that, nerd, Josh.
The rare.
Yo, Tommy did the music for that.
You have 2 Nintendo World Championships. That's
please tell me that's the truth. Please tell me that's the fucking truth.
And okay, so we have I see 4 stadium
Birds
events.
and
So
I own birds, by the way. You should own more birds, actually. Birds are cool. I like birds. My partner does not like birds. It's a goddamn shame.
Kind of separate from their boxes.
Right.
On this side, we have all the boxes, the
This
inserts,
ambient
everything along with that, the manuals.
We're yeah, apparently.
so I'm not gonna
Which is
pull anything out, I'm
hilarious.
just gonna look through it right now.
Is he okay to pull stuff out that he needs?
I don't know if I want to do that just yet. I'm gonna look at it first, okay? And then we'll see where we go from there.
I have to say, everyone has these really, really cool setups at home. I admit, I'm not a collector in terms of like I like putting all my stuff out like in display, but I think this is still really fucking cool when people have like a full-blown setup like this. This is just awesome.
I just want to.
I love that. I love looking at that.
before we go any further here. Okay, so give us a sec here.
For just like 3 minutes, 3 special minutes, 3 Tommy Tallarico minutes.
One of the big ones. At this point,
Tommy's
I would almost rather just take the money I have.
If just in case you forgot.
Instead of getting these lesser known titles for the sake of 70 games being the difference. Like there's no Samson, there's no Bonk, there's no stadium events.
So Todd, do you have any other titles by chance?
I mean, anything in particular?
Really, stadium events, little Samson or Bonks is really what I'm interested in. At this point, because the difference of games I need to complete is so small, for me personally, I'd rather get one of the big ones.
If I get on my house,
instead of getting a lot of those.
I mean, look, you have a guy who says he's on an adventure for 30 days to collect a bunch of games, the whole NES collection, something that this guy Todd has probably been working on for a very, very long time. And this guy who's going to come into your house and do it in 30 days and is probably going to lowball you. Like, I would also want this guy out of my house.
Like that?
Yeah. Holy shit.
You say Bonk's Adventure?
What's in the World Stadium? Damn. Yeah, true. I guess it is 2012, so AVGN is at his peak right now. I think he's at his peak.
Just a reminder, Little Samson is number 2 in terms of rarity and price on the NES list for the retail games. Jay's only other offer was through Josh Jones, a deal that fell apart. Bonk's Adventure is number 3 in terms of rarity and price for Jay.
And dare I ask about the other one?
Which other one?
Stadium events.
Unbelievably, Todd has 2 copies of Stadium Events.
Oh, goddamn.
One complete with its original box and manual, and one with just its box, though there's a slight tear on the back. The price for Stadium Events is usually astronomical on its own, but when you throw in the box or the box and manual,
Yo, Petty! Damn, you're coming in as well. Everyone wants to see the end of Nintendo Quest, apparently. Nintendo Quest brings in all the cool people. Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's a totally different...
Yo, what's up, Petty? How you doing?
So these
What's
two are for
going on?
sale.
How'd your stream go, apparently, today? Hey. I've only heard you about your stream. I haven't actually got to catch any of your streams, honestly. So let me fix that myself, too. It's a Kudioku game? Stadium events, or... Sorry, I got distracted a bit trying to introduce as well. But thank you for your community of mine. Name's Rito, variety streamer on twitch.tv.com, out here grinding through Monster Hunter until it is finally done.
So, sure enough, he pulls out
And
Bonk,
at the same time,
heart attack
I've been playing this for about like
shaking, holding
70 plus
card.
hours.
Why would I wanna
I
join
just
a
want
bunch
to
of
finish
amateurs?
the game with as much entertainment as possible.
Well, okay.
So we're watching
And-
videos on YouTube at the same time.
This is up, Tilda.
Yo, this
Like,
is
the
up
deals keep
11
getting better.
days.
Like, he gave those 2 cards for me
that's
at
crazy.
such a reasonable price. I almost felt bad.
Stadium
And then
events,
I
yeah, it's
picked
basically
up
just track and
about 30
field.
others.
Effectively
The stack
just
of
like
everything
early
total
track and field.
Was way
I'm
less
fucking
than
tired.
what I was
It's like
expecting to spend. I'm just.
it's like what?
That guy was awesome.
It's 7 p.m. here. That's enough time to be tired. Chubby Cherub. Hell yeah. I actually want to play Chubby Cherub. Splatoon 3. Oh hell yeah. He's a video game collector, but 2 moves ago I've decided that move all this stuff I haven't really touched the race sucks actually. Yeah, that's entirely fair. We were talking about how I forgot who said, but they went to their
with a little bit of an emergency.
Oh.
Jay's taking his dog Spencer.
Oh no!
He's all right.
The animal I was invested in.
Throwing up and really acting
No!
like a character. So it's a bit of a cause for concern. Oh, for Jay's sake.
This is
everything
the
works
emotional
out.
stress
But
that I
no, it's
didn't
gonna
want in
affect
my
the rest of the
documentary.
challenge, of course. All we can do is see what's going on, get some more information, and try to regroup and.
But
finish
yeah, how
strong.
someone sold like 2/3 of like their collection, or like 2/3 like the in total collection to a store recently because
See if I
yeah.
can get this all loaded up here.
Yeah, what is the price, Jay? Hashtag, what is the price, Jay?
514, day 1. So day 30, he has until 514. I'm getting a text message from Schemes.
Schemes?
514 on day 30. So
Why
he's
is this
gonna
guy's
have that
name
whole last
Schemes?
day Up until 514.
You might want to go to the
Alright.
courthouse for that one and change your
This is it.
name.
Day 30. the
Your
very
name
last
is
day,
Schemes.
I'm going to check out the
I knew
3
a guy
local
named with a last
shops
name
that I
Boner.
frequent, and that's all I can do, man. So
And that's pretty
hopefully
bad.
There's good stuff.
But Schemes? Yeah,
in that.
Steve's the name of the patches.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, we're a dog we love, right?
Back again, one last time.
Documentary is this documentary is just
Okay.
wild.
Here we go.
They're just going places. This is definitely just like this could have been a YouTube video in itself. Look, they don't know it, but in 2022, 2/3, there's gonna be someone who's gonna go to every Rainforest cafe out there.
What's up, man?
They could just make this video and put it on YouTube. But at this time, they did not know that at the time.
We can get a few into this place. Nigel Manson's World Championship.
Consoles at the local game store warehouse. But I forgot about his offloading all at once. I don't think they will care.
Let's hope we didn't.
Because having that many cool games at one time.
I'm just reaching here now.
So how close are you guys to completing the goal?
Not good, my friend. Not good.
Skeeves Jots.
Nobody's not looking too good.
Schemus penis name. God.
Got them all. Everything except Last Starfighter. Score. Classic.
Kid. Oh God.
Fourth one
Oh,
down.
you said Kid Rock poster, and I was like, oh my God, I fucking aged. Like, I've aged twice today.
You guys got anything rare in for NES or anything in the back?
You can't afford anything in the bag.
Oh, I like to hear that. Are they all put out?
Yep.
They are? Okay. Okay.
So if you game can get your local game store in mind, but I'm ordering.
I didn't really realize what I was in for.
653 out of 678 is insanely good.
Kind of
That
disappointed.
said,
It didn't really play out like I wanted it to. If I
for
did
30
get stadium
days,
events, everyone would be
9%
like,
of budget
"Wow,
left.
he
Where the
didn't do
fuck
it
that
right.
is?
Holy
We
cow.
don't know.
He got
We don't
this.
know.
He got
But
the
he has
best.
9% of his budget
It's
left.
weird, man. It's something like this can change you, but it really has. Yeah, I'm gonna miss it.
Jesus fuck video. Jesus, like pacing, importance. Why? We heard about his dead dad and now his dog. Please, just balance it. I'm begging you. God. This is absolutely unhinged.
Man, I feel like I'm gonna puke.
I feel like I'm gonna puke. What am I doing? I can't even remember. 8 months later. All right. Yeah, with a punch-out quote, right? What if he did the same thing with a Castlevania 2 quote after he talked about his dead dad? It's fucking wild. Can't focus on hunting a monster right now. Just gotta keep collecting items.
It's that same fear, you know. I don't know if you guys have this, but when you're opening presents and people watch you open presents.
This is where he unlocks his Hakai. He can use his Hakai to knock out other game collectors and steal their games. Pretty sure that's the story of that small indie comic book, Superman. I think that's what it is. Superman and Friends. He looks like a Happy Gilmore. When I ripped that, what is a man? It's actually even worse. It was, what a terrible night for a curse. And it was like,
Someone
I am going to
let things
shit.
get to me. I let things get me
This
down
video
to
is
some
art in like
very
all
negative, saw
the
things
wrong
in a darker
ways.
light, if you will. So I look at
Look,
things in a more
Samson Garden is so
positive way now, and I'm a lot happier.
I am not kidding.
just
I will go
feel-
back to
I
it.
don't know, I feel fulfilled.
As we reach the end
This
here,
is all the carts that I've collected.
I will go back to
The
it.
entire
Like
journey,
it was
this little
I'm
stack
not
here
even like
actually represents the ones that I was short.
selling
These
it
ones
up
I did not collect.
in terms of like telling a good story.
I knew you were coming back
It's
6
just
to 8 months
literally what
later,
happened.
so I acquired them on eBay.
And it's
which,
hard to
believe
like
me, was not nearly as fun. These here
the
was
pacing
so
of this is all
impersonal,
fucked
there was no
up. So you want to
communication
feel
with
bad for the
anybody, it was
guy
just buy
because he's
it
telling this
now,
very
bid,
heartfelt
buy
story,
it
but it
now,
has
bid.
no.
And then 2 weeks later, it's shipped. To my
The
door.
placing of it
All
is
of a sudden,
awful.
I've gotten
And then they finish it off with that, and it's
not
like,
nearly as rewarding, right?
damn.
These aren't all the games. There's still one game missing, and it's the game that means the
It's
most
like
to
Happy
me.
Gilmore
And I
movie
want
bad
this
guy.
game to have a story.
He kind of.
So we're hitting the road.
He kind of looks like Ben Stiller. Not in a positive way, but I don't know how that would ever be positive, I guess, either. Yeah, but it was still, like, poorly placed. Yeah, it's just, once again, poorly
Hello,
placed.
my friend. How are you, man?
How are you?
It's awful.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah.
This is the last of the games.
Oh, and he's
right?
leading to Bedford, Indiana.
Last one. Let's go in. As you can see, here's the good stuff. And I understand that this is what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, that's editing's fault, 100%. But I will also say, there's just like, looking at several outlets gave this movie 3- and 4-star reviews. Considering in love for video games really pulls you in.
Pretty emotional, so.
I'm pulled in, and it is as a technical result of his love for video games. I will officially not lie on that. My response to it is probably not the same. Yeah, what's that fucking gravity anymore? Yeah, why is this grav here? He restocked his money.
But to have two.
He has now once again $40,000 to $50,000 probably.
I started looking for a home for the first. Yeah. And I had no idea when that would be. And it turned out it happened pretty quickly. And I think that the right person's getting it. Because I know that you'll enjoy it, you'll care for it. Been on a long quest.
Long quest.
Great finale to that quest.
You know, like less than a year. Me, on the other hand, I've been doing this all my life.
I don't even know what to say, dude. Like, thank you.
You're welcome. Glad I
He
could,
charges Infinity
help you
Wallet.
Oh my God, I think I'll pass out. Seriously.
I was a little surprised.
Infinity Wallet's empty again. Kiss him. Yeah, actually, get back in there and kiss Todd.
Get down here, and I would look at it and say, never mind. I can't
You know,
do
get
this.
back in there,
And
kiss
then,
Todd Curtis, you coward.
It's for nothing.
Make it count.
So I've been hearing that the box
again, twice. He had 9% from his first time. Now he's just empty again.
Hardest thing to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, car crash pulls me in exactly.
It's under 10.
Is it?
I can account for maybe 6. But then to see
Damn.
him with it actually in his hands, he was shaking a little bit, holding something I think that maybe he thought he would never hold, or and to know that that was going to be his own.
And that probably
I thought it
this
was really
guy seems to
exciting.
be
It was exciting
really
for
good on
me.
collection.
He understands why stadium events is important and what it would mean to his collection. So
Also,
I was
belatedly,
glad
what's up,
to,
Matt
in all
Nahue?
honesty,
What's
to
going
see him
on?
finish his journey.
I give it a 0 out of 10. But get ready for our next documentary where we go on the history of yaoi paddles at anime conventions. You're gonna love that one,
I wanted to
Solaris.
complete the collection this way. You have to want it bad enough to give up a lot in your life. And that sounds
like money.
ridiculous because we're talking about Nintendo
Money.
games.
You cannot ban the broadcaster.
Really,
Why would you ban me? You know you want to watch the history of yaoi paddles at anime conventions.
After saving every penny
You know
for
you
the
want to
last
watch the
3
history
months
of
and
the
making
time
the
that
most
people thought it was
expensive purchase
okay
of his
to
life.
physically assault people
Jay's
at anime
quest
conventions
has finally
because you wanted
come
2
to
men to
an end.
kiss, 2 cute guys to kiss. I see no issues here
something I think
whatsoever.
about
I
a lot,
glom
okay?
for Pocky.
It's a David
Fucking
Grohl
first
story,
anime convention I ever
but
gone to.
When he talks about
I was dressed as a
becoming
black mage.
a musician,
Very
he
appropriate.
talks about his mom, who was a music
And
teacher.
I hear
His
screaming
dad
from
was a
behind me.
politician. And he knew right away.
And
he wanted
like
to play
I'm just like
music.
I don't know
So
why
he's
people are
like
screaming. People are
13,
excited here.
14
Whatever.
years
Everyone's
old.
young. I'm young.
15,
Whatever.
I
I'm not
think.
worried too much about
And
it.
he went to his mom and he said, "Mom."
And then I get like fucking lambasted from behind, like
gonna,
I get hit from the back like
jump
I'm
in a
fucking
van with these
Madden
guys,
type of shit. Just
and we're gonna tour around. I'm
just
gonna play music.
wham!
Gonna
I
be
went
school.
down. My wizarding hat just fucking
Because
flew
this is
somewhere else.
what
I
I
got
have
hit
to
that
do.
level that hard. I
You know
went
what she
fucking
said?
down.
Go for it.
Ugh. Because yeah, some
And I just
young
wonder-
gal was so excited to
I
see
mean,
a black mage
why
Final Fantasy
all
anything
parents
that
aren't
I
like
just
that?
got fucking
I mean, if he had fallen on his face,
I got
they would still be there to
Goldberg
pick
from
him up 'cause
behind.
that's their responsibility.
I went down. That hurt. That shit hurted.
But for them,
She's
to
very
even
nice.
say,
We were friends for a while.
Go for it. Yeah, leave school. And he always jokes about it. It's like this is what happens when you drop out of school. And,
And
love that. It's
ironically,
hilarious.
one of her best
Because
friends
it's
at the time,
there's so
we
many
are still
rules
kind of currently friends now.
that
Still,
everyone brings you up thinking that
on the
that's way
huge
things
irony
are.
side.
No matter what happens in this world, you can never
Peter Fox became plus house around. You're the villain of this movie, and we already thought we saw the villains of this movie. What's up, Bowser Rap? How you doing?
Feelings, and nobody can take that away from you. People can tell you you're wrong, but you know deep down inside what's right. You love what you love, and that's just the way it is, and you have to go with that.
And one of the things Jay
Yeah,
loves
thankfully
most
Hugs have
is
been a little bit
video
more
games.
asked for
He journeyed
in
far
more present
beyond
time.
the comfort of his home in London, Ontario, in pursuit of his #1 passion, and in the process, made
Times have
history.
changed for the
And
positive.
while he now has a complete collection of retail NES games, the challenge became so much more than that.
Wait, sorry, but he's driving by the seatbelt right now. Guy rolled a safety car. Yes, excellent. 10 out of 10. We gotta pull him over now. We gotta pull you over. How are you gonna make this up for us? Oh, what's that? What's that in the back there, sir? Is that a stadium
I dare
events?
Jay, and now I'm daring you. Chase your dreams and do the impossible. Go on the quest of a lifetime.
I'm
because the
trying.
adventures that await
I'm
you are
trying right now. This shit's hard, man. This Monster Quest shit's hard. I'm trying my best. Cosplaying Maury and Faulkner for Pokemon. Someone came over and took their pisses like, do you mind doing something fan servicey? Yes, and then they bolt. It's like the time I was cosplaying as Godot, and there was some just lady yelling at me, and she's like, I will suck your dick. I will literally suck your dick right now. I'm like, Jesus fuck. I mean, great on putting yourself out there, but damn, I'm just some dude in a costume. I don't even have the confidence to accept someone sucking my dick. At that point in life, I didn't realize what getting attention was. Well, this was an adventure, huh? This was an adventure. Solarius is dying. Send your friends out for video games to chase your dreams. Everything I donate is justified. Exactly. Because remember, he wasn't supposed to get help from his friends. But he definitely swindled his friends. Frame 1. Ran right in and just said, hey, I'm getting help.
Of course, who doesn't, man? Up, down, left, right, BA start.
Up, down, left, right, BA select start. I did the 2-player version.
The up, down, left, right, BA select start.
Up, down, left,
Damn.
right. BA.
His mustache.
Left, down, right.
This is how we're ending the video, huh? This is how we're ending it.
Nintendo gave us these sort of like lithographs of basically early sketches of Mario by Shigeru Miyamoto. So these are some of the sketches we would have done for Donkey Kong.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Ah!
So if not for Nintendo, there wouldn't be anything here.
They were the first console to deliver.
There's no fucking way.
What I think is something close to the arcade experience in your home.
So 1985 is a good year to launch a system.
Never mind. This documentary is perfect. And I missed the Cubert creator. Oh my god. All right. So let me go back.
Lithographs of basically early.
I'm sorry. I literally lost my shit. I fell out of my chair. I accidentally unplugged my headphones. I rolled on the floor laughing. So, this is Triforce Johnson, better known as Triforce in the fighting game community. Very well known for saying working a 9 to 5 is for suckers. He used to run I'm hesitant to use this word, but it's just the most modern attachment of the word right now, but an esports team called Empire. I think it was Empire Arcadia, if I remember correctly. I was rapping with Jeff to check my on this because, once again, I'm later to the scene, so all this is very much like I'm at the tail end of this sort of stuff. And he always wore a power glove everywhere he went. But this guy had his little esports thing going on, trying to do all these big esports stuffs and whatnot, but just was kind of like the almost first well-known, I would say, schemer in the FGC where he just didn't pay people out and, you know, ended up like, what was the one thing that he did to Knuckle do? I made a fucking video about it. I don't know why I can't remember it. Like the level of stuff that he used to like rip people off on and like not pay people out on stuff like that is that he went to dinner with NuckleDu at one point, and NuckleDu is another very high level player at this point, like one of the best players in the world at Street Fighter 4 or 5, whatever game it was. Went out to dinner with him, and then told NuckleDu was like, "Hey, you're picking up the check." And NuckleDu's like, "What? No." He's like, "No, you won like this major event. You have the money. You should pick up this check and kind of like respect your eldest sort of way." And NuckleDu's like, "No, I'm not going to fucking do that." And so Triforce just fucking walks out on him. He just fucking walks out on the dinner and forces NuckleDu to pay anyway. He tried to recruit you. I mean, a great pickup. A very great pickup if he was able to. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he did not as well. And so this guy was just a big FGC scam artist type of guy who believed he deserved a lot better than he actually deserved and took a lot of people down with him at the same time. And I just did not expect him to be in this video because he's always got to be somewhere like in this sort of shit. He cheated a score on Concha 3. I'm not surprised. Oh, yeah, there it is. I just had it covered. Yeah, Empire Arcadia. I did say it right. But yeah, Empire Arcadia. I think you've actually said it best, Spine Shark. This documentary feels like a perfect encapsulation of why not to get caught up into all this retro game hobbyist collector shit. Because you can meet people like Todd Rogers, Triforce Johnson, Tommy Tallarico, and Billy Mitchell. And then apparently the keyboard creator is coming up next when I lost my goddamn mind.
So if not for Nintendo, there wouldn't be anything here. They were the first console.
Never mind. This video's perfect. This video's perfect. I was wrong. It's the perfect documentary. We got there. We found it, everybody. It's a Triforce documentary next. The thing is, for those of you who are on the outside looking in, the Triforce documentary does exist. It's a real thing. It's a legitimately real thing that I have watched. I don't know. Is that shit free? Can you find a link to that, actually? I don't know if that shit's free or not. Also, I think Corny being broke. This is basically Triforce, but probably more successful. Probably more successful. I mean, these guys don't sign me up. The con artist thing. No. He's major con artist level. He's shit as well. First thing is his Guinness World Records page. He had to be featured in there. He very likely did. I don't blame. Once again, it's the same thing like Todd Rogers. His first one or two are probably legit. And then from there, it's probably all just like, oh, you start really stretching the truth from there to stay relevant. And you had this need to do that. Name only, no, not that. Please, no. It's just, I have not thought about Triforce in many years because no one had to. He's not around almost ever. He sometimes randomly shows up to something. People groan and moan because he exists still. But whatever. As far as I know, he's not able to do damage anymore. No one trusts this guy anymore. But he still just shows up in my life anyway, apparently, in this random fucking video that I picked about Nintendo. Is it best that retro gamers can be? Right?
What I think is something close to the arcade experience in your home.
So
oh my god.
1985 is a good year to launch a system, a console system.
Mitchell with the 20 layers of Tommy Rico. Yeah, like the thing is, like if you know them, you're within the realm of knowing the exact reactions that people had, the visceral reactions that people are having to seeing other folks in this video. Some of them don't deserve it. Some of them are just like they're legitimately out of love. For sure. You know, there was a guy who made the Mega Man box art and didn't know what the fuck he was working with. That's great. There's that little boy Blue who's just really happy and likes video games. He's great.
With my brother, playing Super Mario Brothers 3 in the
But
basement.
it's padded by everything else in this fucking video.
I was gonna run out. I was gonna beg my parents.
You found it? You fucking found it? Oh my god. Let me open up in a new window.
When I found out that my parents were hiding one in the garage, You know, just knowing it was in the garage.
Yeah, there is a King of Chinatown. There it is on the Internet Archive. We won't watch it today. We won't watch it today.
The NES has withstood the test
But
of
oh
time.
yes, that's
As
right.
soon as
That's
this
right.
is
Let's
over,
finish this.
I'll be picking
See if
up
there's
a console
anyone else that
without
I
the
personally recognize, or anyone else personally recognizes that goes, oh god.
Way beyond any library for any machine I've ever
Because
seen.
I feel like there's just no one else. There just could be no one else that makes me go, oh god. There's no fucking way.
Put out a game unless they really feel like it's connecting with
Oh
the
my god,
gamers.
Algraph, you're a hero, by the way. Thank you for finding King of Chinatown.
There was a
there.
2 or 3 hour point in the day where I could escape, and I could be in control of the world. I could be the hero, and the goals were achievable. I had control.
Well, the first day I had my NES, I was
I don't know much about NES Tetris Pierce, honestly, but I personally appreciate them outside looking in, where I can watch them play and do their hyper tapping stuff and go like, no, absolutely not, no thank you. I will play modern Tetris, and I will not listen to anyone who's like, well, modern Tetris is too easy. Good, great, thank you. I will still play it. I am not tapping a button that hard. If I want to do that shit, I'll play fighting games. I'm going back into XR recently.
I remember going to Sears when the NES came out and filling out an application for a credit card so I could get the $25 gift card and go buy the NES. I had to have it.
13 years ago, I was 210
You're a real
pounds,
one.
plus I was 1820. And I was walking past an arcade, and I discovered Dance Dance Revolution.
It's a shitty TGM. It's got really It's just got a really huge competitive scene. Like, it just had a very good year, and like everyone got really into it, and they just blew up. I think James Shin kind of helped like bridge the gap in a way too to like other communities. I don't know why. I don't know why the NES. It just has that arbitrary execution gap that people just really enjoy sometimes. Like Melee, some people just really enjoy pressing big buttons really fast, and that's just what they like while making the brain go overload. There we are. All right, we're back to Walter Day. We're back to Walter Day.
And plus, everybody seems to have a little bit of archaeologist in them. You know, some that are going and being the Indiana.
We saw him earlier,
Indiana
at
J,
least.
Indiana
Yeah,
J,
no, this
and they're
documentary
going
was like,
finding all
how
those-
long is this
all
documentary?
those
It's an hour
lost,
30.
Forgotten, hidden,
Hour 31.
mystical games that who knows where they're going to show up.
All right, you know what? Good on you. All right. Let me see if I can find that one. Sorry, I had to take a brain reset there for a second. I had to take a moment to process what I just watched. All right, where were we at here? Somewhere along the line. Yeah, okay. It was here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like seriously, why the Triforce out of all fucking people just showing up like that? What the hell's going on?
Rushed back.
Okay.
And Norm tried to revive him, and that was it. He's just wasn't coming back. He was gone. And I just had such a relief, man.
So this
Like,
is
it
him
was
talking about
over,
his father
you know,
that is
we
that
were
passed.
free. That my mom and I were free. Because he was a tyrant. He was awful.
Like,
He's
this is
the worst person I've ever met in my life.
It was hard because he lost his Nan, who he loved dearly, and then Pop, and then his dad.
You missed Triforce somehow.
He doesn't
I died on
handle that
Triforce.
well. Like,
I fucking died on Triforce. I was not ready for a Triforce jump scare. And it just finishes on this shit. You're like, God. Editing, I'm begging you, please review that in post. I am begging you, review that in post. And then you get jump scared into a Jar Jar Binks statue. Like, the combination of everything in this film is perfect. No comments, no edits. Ship it again. I know the movie is about 10 years old. It's time for a 10-year reunion anniversary. You gotta re-release this movie at the Sunfest Films or wherever the fucking they call it. Oh, Jesus. I know that Jar Jar stuff. Wait, that used to be on your... Oh, no. You know what, Borks? Keep up the good work. keep living your best life. Boys, what the fuck, man? So, anyways, if you're not following Borks for some reason, now's your chance. Misa, see you on break. Misa, come back later. I yelled at my dad. He died. Here's Jar Jar Binks. What a terrible night for a curse. Yeah, 0 out of 10. Perfect film. The way they're trying to do, I understand. I hate it. I understand. This has been a trip. This has been a trip. All right. What time is it? What am I doing? What time is it? I think it's time for good content. Strong Batman, are you here? I think it's meant for the next scene, but just, God. They totally just finished that scene, they cut it off, they faded it out, and they just started working on the next one and didn't even think about how those were going to pair together in the long film. King of Chinatown is definitely going to be watched at some point. But there was a video I queued up last time that because my internet died, I didn't get to actually watch it. So I'm like, okay, I think it was like an hour long or so, if I remember correctly. So I'm like, this is actually, I think, about a perfect time. Gets to like 8:39 p.m. Means to knock you to HR for not working hard enough. Jar Jar Binks would never. No one at HR wants to actually talk with Jar Jar Binks. He'll try to do it. No one just wants to talk to him. But trust you, me, Alzarav, like, King of Chinatown is probably going to be next up on Saturday. Or maybe Thursday. I don't know. Since Sonic September is going to be pushed back for a little bit, because I want to make sure my internet is actually super stable before I do that. I want to at least have 2 good streams. So if my streams work well this week, then I will start next week. It's passionate. I did. Jar Jar could technically go anywhere. Jar Jar more worthy than the QA testers. But yeah, once I get that link for the video, because I definitely lost it last week, or last Saturday, I guess to say, then I will pop that on there and we'll watch that next. And if you can't find it or any reason like that, then let me see how long King of Chinatown Fair is. I think it's significantly long. That's an hour. All right. So if we need to fall back, we can do that too. That's actually only an hour, so I can save that for Thursday. So we can learn more about Triforce Johnson. All right. Let me put some stuff away here real quick. And I'm going to throw in some music while we're at it too. That's probably loud. I'm sorry. All right. There we go. Sorry. My throat is still recovering from laughing way too hard at the Triforce jump scare. It was perfect. I was going after 9 minutes of grind. Any progress? Actually, yes. I got a little bit of items on the Raytheum. I was going to fight the Rathalos, but I got so distracted. I'm like, there's no way I can fight a Rathalos right now. It's just not going to happen. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Strong Batman. Appreciate it. All right. Hour 30. That should be about perfect to lead me up to about 9 p.m. And we're good to go from there. Oh, hell yeah. I was opening up the stream of Katsui music. Love that OST. I mean, that's why I have it on vinyl. But yeah, I was being introduced to Snackerer, if I'm even pronouncing that correctly. So I'm about to learn about playing Escape from Paradise City, a criminal meltdown. He makes good content. Okay. All right. I'm excited then. Hell yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment still. That last documentary sure was a lot, huh? Go back once more. I know he's in here somewhere. Just somewhere in here. I don't remember where exactly, but maybe he's at the beginning. Oh yeah, I forgot there was fucking James as well from Extra Credits. All at the same time too.
The music like a
Yeah, Captain, it's Monday. There he is. Also, we just got to cap it out here. There's Tommy Tallarico as well. All right, let's go watch this other video. Snakerer. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Tommy looking like how he sounds. That's the guy who made the oof. They're kind of being disgraced. No one can be at the 10-year anniversary at this point, almost. But not MTV Cribs yet, the very one where he posted the video twice under 2 different names. Yeah, from not MTV Cribs. Yeah, Diet MTV Cribs.
$100 for an airstrike. Well, that's a steal.
No. All right, I'm gonna bounce the volume here as we go along. Don't mind me.
Yeah. Escape from Paradise City by Media Mob Serious Games. A real-time gangster something or other released to no fanfare in late 2007.
Right.
I have barely heard anyone talk about this
sound?
game or Gangland, to which this is a sequel. There are a few videos of it up online. The multiplayer button makes the game crash.
Oh. I couldn't actually have me pressing the button, so I went back to record that.
Crash. Oh, fuck. Never mind. This doesn't make the game crash. So, after crashing every single time that I tried to make it work, now that I've written the script and I'm in editing, the multiplayer button works. So, it's a shame it uses GameSpy. And I doubt it had much in the way of marketing. Or money, period. After its release, Serious kept their name until filing for bankruptcy in May 2008. I bring all this up because much like Gangland, there is a ton of repetition, albeit worse. I've had a disc copy of this game since shortly after release. Unlike Gangland, this isn't on Good Old Games. I've been through several computers in the years I've owned it, but no matter what I've thrown Escape from Paradise City at, it has never worked. Over the last few years, every few months, I'd remember this game and take yet another fruitless crack at cracking it, and then it returns to nothing.
Oh, gotcha.
Then in my Discord, user
I have not seen this game. I mean, this is my first video I've seen of this
tells me he downloaded
creator
it to no difficulty.
What?
So after years and years of trying and failing, with one download,
I understand this guy already.
It just works.
It just works.
Mostly. So thank you, Skeleton. We owe this video to your discovery. And sometime in all of this, I even lost that disc copy. So I got another. It's mostly for the manual. No recipes.
Was that Fightbox back there? God damn it.
Last time, this game wound up a long and mostly boring, yet strangely fascinating journey, albeit one I found far, far less charming than Gangland, but not entirely lacking. So this will be an evaluation, a critique, and a playthrough mixer, digging deep into this game because no one else has, and who else would. If you want to play along, well, I'm not posting the download link, but I will say it is very easy to actually find once you know the download exists. So if you have roughly a dozen hours spare, you can come play along with this video. And just know, I am going to be mean to this game. I know from just looking at it and with the scant background details I've just supplied you, this game obviously did not have a smooth and easy production, but I am being honest in my evaluation, and honestly, there are so few genuine things here to actually
It kind of reminds me of City of Heroes in a, like, Diet City of Heroes. Let's be real here. Very bad City of Heroes. I should be very clear here.
If we want to escape from Paradise City, we have to go there first. So let's get started. This menu is meant to have a video, but instead we only get 2 frames. One as it's loading, another when it does. We have Porter, one of our heroes, chasing after us in
City
the
of
hopes of
Jobber.
catching up. He never will, however, because I am playing unpatched. So we're not only missing a video here, but a
it should be running
delightfully
a video.
cheesy intro. And, well, every single cutscene in the game. I beat it not knowing there were cutscenes at all.
Can I move closed captions upward? Because I see he's putting stuff at the bottom. And I'm like, that's fine and all. I just need to, like, put it elsewhere. Can I put it elsewhere? Options? Okay, that's good options. Can I put it to the top? Can I move? Can I just click? Oh, I can just do that. Okay, shut up. I don't want to hear it.
They were meant to be later.
Sorry, it's gonna be a very odd
Most
thing. I'm
in-game
gonna adjust
dialogue,
everything
the majority
here.
of which was
I'm gonna have to do some adjustments because if I want to have everything, I'm going to have to futz around with it for a bit. But give me a second here. Let's see. I think I just have to make the video a little bit smaller, unfortunately. Or I can make my closed captioning a little bit smaller. It's gonna be... I guess I could just put it on the bottom. There's gonna be a lot of text at the bottom. I hope you all can forgive me. And I'll have to move this up a bit too. And I could probably make that a smidge bigger, I was going to say, but not like that. Like I know it's going to be like even more stretched out and people are going to hate me for it. But like here-ish. All right. I have a theory about the game, but I have to wait till the video's done. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. All right. So let's just... I might just have to get rid of the video title for now. Just for the sake of some level of cleanliness. I think I just have to do this. I'm sorry. I like giving credit for the video. Can I, if I put the title back here, can I... The answer is going to be no. I have to sacrifice something. Look, J. Josh told me I have to, if I'm doing something I really love, I have to be able to sacrifice something. And it's going to be the video's title. All right.
Never-ending pedestrian chatter. That's gone.
Hooligans. Foodie Hooligans. Theme RTS. It's so... What the hell? All right.
In my reality, they never talk. I attempted patching the game regardless of that, but then it went right back to not running at all, much like Porter. Luckily in that patched version, all the cutscenes exist as BIC files in a directory, so don't you worry. I'll just nab them and go back to the broken version that works. And there is another positive. Without the patch, a lot of people had no nose. What? It took me way too long to notice it. And at a glance, it made me think everyone was wearing those gag glasses. So I've got the best of all worlds. Gameplay-wise, we're fine. The one patch for this game exists for video issues, so I'll take this shambling mess of a version.
I can only have 5 catalysts?
I thought I was home free. With 10 mil in my pocket after that last hit, I was all set on spending the rest of my days on my cruiser in Miami, fishing and chasing skirt. Then came this NSA agent, Kovacs.
Yeah, Groucho Marx mode.
Finish my shift in the joint.
Everyone's in disguise. You can't find anyone in the city.
So there I was.
Is that VA is? I have no
streets,
idea.
With nothing
Also,
to
it
gain.
did get very loud, yes, by the way.
But
I assume
my
they'll go back to normal volume. Is John St. John? How can he hate his role as Big the Cat when he's here? What? Also, what's up, Grumps? How you doing?
I'll be using the first 3 stages to introduce characters and concepts, and then throughout the rest of our visit, I'll expand on them. You can't take in all of Paradise at once.
We're going full circle here. This is...
If you remember Gangland,
if you want to know who's in gaming, just watch today's stream. We got them all. We got Tommy Tallarico. We got Billy Mitchell. We got Triforce. We got some John St. John.
Proof has not.
We have everybody.
Yet, it seems someone has taken notice. NSA agent Walter Jeffrey Kovacs is that man, and he has a plan. He has coerced 2 criminals and 1 crooked cop into heading into the hive that is Paradise, in order to, and I quote, apprehend the leader of a criminal organization. Oh, just the one?
Just that guy.
We're gonna need more to work with than that, Walt. Anyhow, instead of one lone Mario, we have 3 heroes this time. The long-ranged Porter, the melee fighter Angel, and Boris. Well, he just explains himself. First up is Porter. The story is once again delivered by loading screen slides, but they are joined by cutscenes and, you know, I'll be giving us both. Even if the information in one occasionally contradicts the other. There are no mid-mission slides this time. On their own, they tell an absurd bullshit chronicle of, I want to say intrigue, but, well, we'll see. With gameplay, they do this over the course of 13 hours. And totals around 1,350
We hired Boris because we like the cut of his jib.
Granted, I still don't mind the slides as a way to deliver story. The mixture of concept art and in-game shots is tacky and often jarring, especially as many of these concept art characters don't exist. And this is already inaccurate besides, since Porter cannot use handguns.
with a
That's
mohawk,
Boris's
she looks
weapon
badass.
class. But I'm ignoring the truly worrying thing here. The plot in these is peppered with gameplay hints, and they are slotted in with all the comfort of a brick up the backside. And the first one we get really characterizes Porter as a man who belongs here. The adrenaline junkie former thief with millions of dollars to his name thinks to himself, nice. Gives me an opportunity to practice my new leg shot skill. Always good when the protagonist is just as excited to kneecap people as I am. And from there, it opens with Porter arriving at the docks. Better known as the docks. So, let's start with a surprise. This is no RTS. Yeah, take that, Wikipedia.
What?
Welcome to Combat View. You see, it's actually a semi-single player styled, semi-RPG, okay, kinda RTS. You click and drag to turn around, engage in cooldown based combat, and while we're a shit-ass level 1, we'll die if we pick any fight but the one we're being pointed at for this tutorial. This was a surprise for me as well. I was not aware it wasn't actually a strategy game, and this caused a mental disconnect that it took a long time to wrap my head around. But for now, we'll just live with it. For whatever reason in Combat View, all non-diegetic sound, which is really just a generic short musical loop.
Oh, it's so quiet.
Well, that goes away. In Combat View, all you hear is the battlefield. Our characters have 3 trait families with 2 trees in each. Along with that, we have stats, inventories, weapons with level requirements, and there isn't a Tommy gun in sight. This is no Mafia strategy game, this is a crime RPG. Neither strategy view or combat view actually has a great advantage over the other. There are some minor ones. Combat view feels made to deal with the fact that many of the maps are too filled with cramped alleyways to accommodate strategy view, and strategy view kinda lets you deal with the rare distant threat a bit easier. Having just arrived in Crime City with the job to topple a crime empire, our first task is to shoot a couple of people to death in broad daylight. We're congratulated on our murders by Kovacs, whose name is now spelt differently. Now assured we can shoot people to death, he wants us to shoot the neighborhood boss to surrender, then have him go and take over the neighborhood for us.
What? There he goes! Look at him go!
I'd say this is taking too long, but I did just shoot the bloke. So that's the basic loop of the game. We're more or less going to be following this set of actions multiple times per stage, over and over. I wouldn't worry too much though, it only gets longer and more repetitive as we go. Kovacs, satisfied we did it once, asked us to end this tutorial stage by repeating what we just did, sans his guidance. Before that, mind, we now have business. This DIY shop sells guns, since if you buy the weapon yourself, murder is a DIY affair. It also sells nanomeds. Man, Paradise City
it's not even grand, it's just like,
we
you know,
really are far
it's all
removed
right.
from the Munganos. I need a drink. And, well, we got those, at extortionate prices. Black Russians make you run 10% faster, and as someone who has been running drunk in the past, I wouldn't say it's faster, but it's nicer than you'd think. Can't say I recognise the rest of these drinks and their myriad buffs, but, well, I'm not one for cocktails. But I will put it to the barkeep. I get the DIY guys slipping me guns and sci-fi bullshit on the sly, but you shouldn't only serve drinks to the guy running
Exhilarating.
the neighborhood. It's a bad
but
business
damn,
model.
not faster.
I mean, unless it changes that often.
Oh. Why you just Moe's Tavern this shit?
I mean, it's no wonder there are people guarding briefcases of booze in back alleys all over the place. I mean, it's understandable if this is what it costs to get buffed and blottoed. Yeah, this is really an MMO town. This is a literal trash mob, and they are guarding the liquor. Okay, so we have a drink that makes your colleagues do more damage, drinks that make you more agile, but then there's Warrior's Oil. It boosts melee damage by 15%, but this isn't a drink. It's magic. Okay,
what?
I have to talk about modern-day set RPGs. I have a bias for them, so Escape from Paradise City should be in my good books. Well, when I say RPG, I mean an RPG like Boiling
So
Point.
I'm not watching
this sort of
game.
control
Yo,
scheme
shout out
and
to Europe.
style. Watching 2 normal human beings
They're
shoot
ahead of
each
the
other
time.
for tens of seconds. This looks goofy.
No, Boris has got
Especially
this.
when one of them has to go for a jog afterwards. This scene is typical in fantasy and sci-fi settings, you know, 2 people just going at it for ages. But then my brain can accept this with far less issues. But, well, Philly ain't
Cybercross
got
case.
shit on this
Damn.
guy. They also sell painkillers here for the customer who ain't
Night
coming
walk
back.
while inebriated, just
So,
slightly,
yes,
yeah.
all
You're
the
toasty,
flavor
you're
of
warm,
Gangland is
you're
gone.
comfortable.
I think that's pretty
You're not
clear
worried about
by
the world
now.
around you.
Escape from
It can be
Paradise
nice.
City has a more modern take on the city, but with nanomeds and weird accelerator shit we can stick on our guns.
This play goes into my
and
theory,
magic
but I'm
alcohol.
excited to see your
And yet
theory is
it still
adamant
all
at the
feels
very end of all of
squeezed
this.
for anything characterful. I get no impression of this place beyond
Actually,
modern
I
and
that.
slummish. And trust me, as we go on, this impression's only going to get worse. So I hire a big lad named Crowbar, and together we tackle the slightly sturdier neighborhood
have
boss
that.
of the neighboring neighborhood.
Eh.
I gotta say, second time around, it was further from the neighborhood of fun. And
Eh.
after the takeover, when I've technically already won, I still have to wait for the boss to nip about and tell everyone who they answer to now. He basically has to sign off on my victory. If a neighborhood has no business,
Yo, this guy's
the boss
legit.
will just scoot to the side of the room, and this sends ownership to you. Mission accomplished. We then switch over to Angel Vargas. Last name unimportant.
It wasn't easy getting food on the table every day. Mom was always drunk, and Dad, well, forget about him. The only way to survive was to take from others. Stuff they didn't need anyway. I ended up in jail where I had to kill this bitch who tried to whack me. I checked into death row, where this sleek special agent gave me an opportunity, because of my skills with a blade. I could either fry, or work undercover for him in Paradise City. The mission? To locate the boss of some gangster organization. I had one thing to say to him. Where do I sign?
Wow. Why does it sound off like that? With a big boof, boof. Anime, you're right, you're right.
Where's my knife? I'm only killing my way out of death row here. Oh, according to the splash screen, Kovacs is reminding us to upgrade our weapons, so cheers, you cheeky cunt. Angel is the melee character. It's a lot like using guns, except you're not. That's the kind of analysis you're here for, I'm sure. She also has stealth, which I could never see the use of. As a matter of fact, it's downright detrimental to use it, especially this early in the game. You need the experience to stop being fragile, and you get nothing for dodging fights. You need those numbers right now.
She's a
there
monk.
are backstab
Yeah.
moves,
She's a
but there are
streets
also
monk.
normal attacks in overall more useful trait trees that do similar, if not greater damage. This is also a game where enemies come in groups, and while I'll get more into combat proper down the line, I'll say this for now.
I see all
While
those
your
red numbers
RPG
coming up.
stat numbers do matter, they matter far less than numbers. This stage, besides introducing us to Angel, is also a tutorial on hiring and controlling units. Kovacs, name once again spelt wrong, or right, it's unclear, well, he wants us to not only take neighborhoods, but fill them with our own criminals. He wants us to stop criminals, but he is basically setting us up to do so by taking their place. I mean, it's fine. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. It only looks short-sighted to people like me. We do get another insight into how Paradise has changed here. This one massively depressing. This neighborhood has a hotel. Unlike before, where each business made a bit of cash, now only hotels bring in money. There
Oh, it's
are
Monopoly.
other lesser means to get
Why do you
cash,
say so?
but these are your primary
just
source.
Monopoly.
But each only has $2,500 spare, and they are then dry. Paradise is dying, guys. No one is coming here, and we're sucking out the last little bits of life in this city. I made a ton of guesses what this money cap meant on the gameplay end. Whether it was to task the player with picking specific neighborhoods
I
to
mean,
attack in
look,
which
he's
order
living
to
in
build a
paradise. He can do
reserve
whatever
of
he
cash.
wants.
If the limited funds were to create a
Yakuza.
balancing act between the player hiring temporary help in the form of gangsters versus less immediately helpful but permanent
Yakazui.
boosts in the form of weapons, armors, and skills from
The
skill
goofier
trainers.
version of Yakuza.
In the end, I can't tell you what the
Cool.
aim of limited funds was. Indeed, if there was one at all. You can loot enemies for peanuts, sell off items you find, defeat alley scum. But even without doing any of that. I ended most stages with thousands to spare, even if I was flash with my cash, filling each hood with hired help and decking myself out. The money you have might as well be infinite because there simply isn't enough to meaningfully spend money on anyway. Regardless, you then start the next stage dirt poor.
Wow.
And considering what a drink costs in this town, that's not surprising. It's not even to put pressure on you to move and take these hoods quickly. The funds don't start draining until they're in your hands. So, you know, we could just be shit managers. Once you have a neighborhood, you bribe the mayor, and you can then hire up to 5 units of 4 types, each type having 1 upgrade. Gunmen, bouncers, medics, and scouts.
The bouncer.
Once hired, they'll gradually pop in and just wait about in front of the neighborhood HQ.
It's true.
The boss,
Yakuza is real goofy in its own right. This is
Well,
Yakuza taken
entirely
seriously
true.
now.
In
We
place of
come full
controlling
circle.
units, we have the
we
ability
wondered
to
what it would be
rally
like.
gangsters. When you
And
rally
now we're
gangsters
here.
on a neighborhood,
Speaking of
your
people out
troops
here,
in
yo, what's
adjacent
up,
neighborhoods will
Clappy?
then run in
How
along
you
a
doing,
set
fam?
path, attacking
Hopefully you're having
any
a good
enemies
one.
they see,
Ooh,
even those random
Clappy
scum
shows up and I
enemies,
get a mosh
until
like
they make their
instantly.
way
That's
to the
amazing.
neighborhood boss and
You know what
attack
that means?
him.
I have to give a
This
shout out to
stage
my
not
homie.
only introduces the mechanic, but goes on to teach a lesson in its optimal use. The central
What's going on,
neighborhood
fam? How
is
you
said to
do?
be much tougher, so take over weaker neighborhoods to encircle and overwhelm it with units. This lesson winds up as smoke and mirrors for much of the game due to a mixture of arbitrary objectives, map layout, and lack of challenge. On the overhead management
I'm
map,
recovering
an alleyway
from
may
watching
appear
the
like
Nintendo
it
Quest
connects two
video.
neighborhoods, only for you to look and
It
notice
was
a big
a
old
lot.
locked gate. As also stated,
It
Escape
was
from
a
Paradise
lot.
City past the opening moments
We're
is very
closing
easy,
down with a lot more
seemingly
Sama
scared of
video
putting an
about
actual
a
threat
bad
in the player's
game, but
path.
it's
So
taking the
this lesson
piss.
feels like it teaches something it then regrets, but luckily you didn't need it
Well, it doesn't
anyway.
actually care about spoilers for
Besides
this?
all of this,
Oh,
I do
gotcha.
just despise the rally gangster
Yeah, I have
mechanic
not.
on its own merits.
Well, I mean,
taking
once again,
unit
first time I've
control
seen
out
the
of
guy,
player's hands
but
doesn't benefit us
that's actually-
whatsoever, and the AI is tragically far too
I wouldn't mind
stupid
watching
for this mechanic
Yakuza
to
0
even
if he has
function
it
satisfactorily.
spaced out in,
Units
like,
will often get
per game.
separated due to differing starting positions or get pulled from their group by the aggro of the random enemies littering stages. The routes set in stone are often circuitous or disadvantageous, and it also means there is no strategy to neighborhood takeovers, as you are at the game's behest in all of this. My complaints are somewhat tempered, however tempered they may be by something that makes the game further worse. That for all of my gripes, as said, Escape from Paradise City winds up so easy
Zero
that Rally
Kiwami one
Gangster
vid.
being
Oh, okay.
a mess
Well, then I
doesn't
just have to
much
play
matter
Kiwami.
anyway.
That's
you will
all.
likely win in spite
I'm
of
not missing
all
much
this.
from Kiwami. Isn't
The
that like the
real
first
frustration
Yakuza?
is in what this
But
denies the
remade?
player, a feeling of agency, and that they earn that victory. Win or fail, so what? It wasn't up to your strategy, your skill, what you set out to do. If you win, take it. If you lose, fuck it, spawn in another lot. Guess what?
Yeah.
Enemy units don't respawn, so you'll win out eventually.
Wow,
You have
really?
the money to spare. And well, once
They
again,
don't
the
respawn?
neighborhood
That's-
boss at the end of all this,
So they're
he wears
stage-based.
the guise of a tougher enemy. He has a higher level, he has more health, he has greater damage, but he always comes alone. And considering he surrenders before his health drains, that health bar he possesses isn't actually
It's not
as
even a real
impressive
health
as
bar,
it
yeah.
looks. Before the finale, I only need to take 3 neighborhoods for this stage. But I went the whole hog and got them all.
You've
I
read the
wanted to
fishing,
see an
but spoiler
absolute
wars, the whole
flood of my
series.
troops. And for this
At the
level,
start
I
of the zero
wasn't
video.
let
Oh,
down
okay,
or
gotcha,
denied
gotcha.
that. But it was a waste of time, and will often end up wasting my time.
Oh, that's because
You
I
may
have
be
Count's
thinking,
weapon.
Sure, but what about that precious experience you talked about?
As I learn how to make more
each
items, it's
chapter
like,
has
great, I
gated
don't know
progress.
what
You
gave
can
me
only go up
these
so
items in
many
the first
levels.
place.
With each
Like,
level, you can
I
only gain
made
so many trait
items that gave me
points.
more strength
So those weapons that are
and
levels
more
4
defense.
and up,
I don't know
yeah,
where to
those
find
are
the seeds for
taunting
those,
me.
so I'm trying to
Worse
find
still
those
is that
so
stages
that I
have
can fight the
exclusive gear.
monsters
So
that
I'm
have the
thinking I'll have
parts
to
that
come
I'm
back
looking
on later
for.
if I want these things.
Ideally.
It's a stupid idea. I do find this capping
So I'm just
odd.
trying to figure out
if I level
where I
up
can
too
find
much,
more
the experience
power
lost from
seed
killing
and
lower
defense
level
seed
foes
stuff
would
so I
create
can
a
turn it
cap
into
all by itself.
items, hopefully.
But hey, maybe this is so each
So
stage
basically,
can
yeah,
have a
I have been
fine-tuned
searching for items
challenge.
for a very long time because I just do not know
If there was
where I
any
need to be.
challenge to speak of, that might be it.
But I'm doing good. That said, I'm doing good. I'm sure everyone's just slowly recovering from the
Elsewhere in
Nintendo
town is
Quest
Kovac's
video.
third and final provocateur.
That was
Boris
sure a
Chekhov,
time of all time.
One of the most corrupt men in the LAPD, up to his eyeballs in bribes with a network of hustlers, prostitutes, and informants. He was doing well for himself, at least until Kovacs came in with a truckload of blackmail. So Boris is fighting to keep his shady dealings under wraps.
Oh shit, it's time for Boris! Who's scratching his own ass!
So there I was. 1 second a big shot at the Bureau. The next, a lousy infiltrator for the NSA. That agent,
Drives Boris.
he is on my hit list for sure. Why don't people mind their own business? Okay, sure. I had some business arrangements on the side that maybe wasn't entirely by the book. But somebody has to clean up the liberals' mess, right? And bribes? Give me a break. Additional government funding is what I call it.
Objective Boris. Kill
That was
count?
a lot of build-up to just murdering
Boris.
a random civvy. Perhaps you belong here, Boris.
Yeah.
And that's free for free. None of the agents know how Kovac's name is actually spelt. But then I guess that's the sign of a good secret agent. Boris starts with abilities allowing him to reduce his damage to increase his dodge chance, heal allies, and have a henchman.
Bald man
Other
scratches his own
characters need a
grundle.
trait for that. I had to
We
buy
don't know
into
what he's
it
about.
reporter.
We're terrified of
Boris
him. We're
is
terrified
the
of
weakest
Boris.
combatant. But his
What?
traits are geared for strategy and unit manipulation, receiving and giving buffs from having henchmen and territory. So he is
he's
easily the worst character.
Yeah.
I do love his first loading screen.
doesn't have
though.
any skills.
Yeah, there's
Skills,
Crowbar.
Boris.
He's moonlighting, and he's huge. And at Boris's beck and call. The whole splash screen doesn't tell you who the rat is. It's just going over how screwed Boris is on his own, and ends with Kovacs advising him to drink on the job. Henchmen are followers, never making
Thanks,
much
Kovacs.
difference in my run.
Appreciate
They're not
it.
terribly effective. Enemies have just as much trouble with them as I do keeping them alive. They're rubber banded, and I'd pay them the most mind the times I did have to retreat, hoping that band would snag before their death. I'd have to be a block or two away before it did. You do actually have some control over them. They are the only
Skillless
unit you can tell where
Boris.
to stand.
Ow!
Seeing as that is the case, you can't really do much with it. The damage output of Henchmen is tied to your Charisma stat, so it starts under 1.0, meaning if you want your Henchmen to have base efficiency, you have to buy in, and that is at the cost of more helpful stats. Henchmen are persistent stage to stage. If you can keep them alive, while your level growth is capped, theirs is not, which, considering what I said, is less impressive than you might think.
Okay.
They are statistically weak and handicapped further by Charisma. Kovacs also tells us that taking over Shallow Street will give us this neighborhood's power skill.
Why can't
So,
they
like,
be
beat the
endlessly
boss and
strong?
acquire this
But I
hood's
guess the
jutsu.
reason is
Power
they're
skills
not.
are skills
They're
that
just
cost
endlessly
power.
weak.
Power is a bar refilling infinitely. They are a varied lot of character-neutral abilities from unit spawns to revealing map sections. Which ones you have access to varies stage by stage, and at times abilities need to be gained by taking certain neighborhoods. What's odd is that some power skills may only be triggered in strategy view due to needing manual placement. Units which can be summoned in combat view are just set to come to your current location. This limitation is entirely arbitrary. You can use grenades in combat view and they work the same way as placing units in strategy view. But then again, this entire argument I'm making is arbitrary since all the power skills that are actually useful just happen to wind up being the ones accessible in combat view anyway.
It just looks so messy when they start fighting like this.
An odd quirk of power skills is that triggering them grants experience. Power regenerates not only infinitely, but quickly. So sometimes, I'd just trigger a bunch of them for the experience. Yeah, wasting people's time, that's the ultimate crime. It makes you a better gangster. This stage also introduces something of a recurring element. Say hello to Chuck. He's a potential henchman higher elsewhere, but for this stage, he is a persistent enemy, who will flip between randomly roaming and charging you. He'll run away on low health and most likely escape. Putting damage on fleeing opponents is something the AI struggles with greatly, as well as the player. Not that it matters if he does die, since he'll just come back a short time later no worse for wear. I doubt it, but this might all sound intimidating. But you'll notice his level marker is blue. He is already weaker than Boris is in a one-on-one, and he will always come alone. If one of his attacks lines up with other enemies, that is pure serendipity on his behalf. He's really just a bit of padding. Some stages do this with henchmen, using them as a unique
Man, this is
enemy.
Yakuza. That's just
After
Mr.
the last stage
Shakedown.
taught
But
us
if
about
Mr.
encircling
Shakedown was
neighborhoods, this level
on an
just
infinite
drags
diet,
itself
I
out,
guess.
having a southern and northern
Yo,
row of
what's up,
neighborhoods
Shark? How
that
you
only
doing?
connect from the east and west.
Welcome.
So
How's
that
it
lesson
going?
we just got taught is
Hopefully your
already
Monday and or
shafted
Tuesday is
here.
treating you well.
So
You're having
I've
a good
explained
one.
this whole gameplay loop.
Yeah, Mr.
And now on
Screwball.
chapter 3 of 16, this loop has been repeated 15 times. Some of it was
Wow.
optional, but that's the minority. I'll spend the rest of this video from here on out going over individual level gimmicks while expanding on the subjects I've covered in these opening segments and introducing a couple more.
Mr. Shakedown.
Since
Mr. Shook down. He's already been
has
defeated
only
as
just
is.
begun. Boris seems excited.
Yeah, let's go, Boris.
I ran into this psycho Rocco. A really messed up guy who said he was hooked up with the big shots uptown. Even though he seemed totally out of control, I thought he could be my way into the
Hey,
major
happy to have you
leagues.
here.
He said that if I helped him out on a little bar
I'm glad you're
round
joining us to watch
he could
videos on
introduce
YouTube
me
while
to
I
big
grind
players.
endlessly on Monster Hunter in
figured
the
it
hopes
was
of
worth
maybe
a
one day
shot.
completing it. We'll see what happens. And by we'll see what happens, I mean
My heart sank a
it
little
just
when
won't
I
happen.
realized I
It's-
was in
I'm-
for an
I'm
escort
stuck here
mission.
forever.
It's a good thing we're Angel at the least. I'd have thought we'd have swung back around to Porter,
We'll see if I can
but
complete this
developers
Cursed 50.
have
I'm not a
seriously
quitter.
different
That's the
ideas.
problem. I'm not a
Let me
quitter.
immediately backtrack to the previous mission, however. There are optional civilian side quests. The payouts quickly stop being worth it. But I took one to keep a guy alive for 2 minutes. He asked this way too casually.
Hey, if you could spare a couple minutes to keep me alive, I'll grab you something nice.
If you have a little
I
bit of free
spared the
time,
but they
I'm
didn't
looking to stay
spare
alive for the
Crowbar's
next 2
life.
minutes. Got a
I
hot
got him
date
through
tonight.
alive,
Don't
but,
want to be
well,
late.
he didn't earn it. He just flailed around like a moron. Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
It was a close call. It was just sheer luck that he happened to run near my units and could be protected. So now we have an entire mission keeping Rocco alive while he goes drinking to get him on our side. I'm not too happy about it, but I guess the only way is forwards. As the stage begins, I look on in horror as Rocco charges off and wipes the floor with everyone. Okay, this might be the best escort mission ever. I'm not sure who's escorting who. I can't even keep up with Rocco as he punks everyone who takes a shot at him. He did die once, admittedly, but it took a lot of doing on their behalf, and it's not a feat they're able to repeat. Eventually, Rocco makes it to a certain bar, and then just stops. We haven't won, mind. Our objective wasn't keeping him alive. Our objective is taking over the entire area. Rocco living large and liquored up is just a condition. So I'd say it's time to experiment. This stage is just a southern descent. I mentioned how rallying works, but I need to know something.
I don't want to
You can only
inconvenience
have
you.
one rally going on at once. No multitasking here. That might make you feel excitement
mushrooms.
or something. My idea was, if I rally hood by hood, maybe I'd eventually be moving a giant death blob. I do realize this would be meaningless overkill. Neighborhoods are built around the idea they would be attacked by 1, 2, maybe 3 others. I doubt it's a surprise to hear this doesn't work. When I try to move people 2 neighborhoods over, the ones not spawned from the target neighborhood will just head home.
What?
So I guess the question is,
head home?
Is that a problem? On the one hand, no, it's the game functioning as intended. On the other, its function is boring. Gangland had issues, but stages did at least have something of a build-up and a die-down as you amass a death blob and move it about the stage, overwhelming people with numbers and feeling like you've earned it. Keeping that blob alive was at times difficult, but could be rewarding. And once you are further into a stage, all those troops you hired towards the back are now useless. You might ask, what about defense? Fair question, but defense for what? There are roaming enemies, sure, they occasionally chance into neighborhood bosses, but they're set to go after me. I mean, there is a tiny bit more than that. In some stages after a takeover is triggered, a car with 2 or 3 enemies pulls up and attacks. They're usually killed, and are such a non-issue I didn't even spare a thought for why it was happening. In fact, I only realized it was when I was watching back my footage and caught on that this was causing it. This also only happens the
So
first time you
unthreatened
take a neighborhood
by everything
over.
going on.
On the rare occasion the
That
boss
it's like,
would
oh,
die
people are just
while
attacking
taking
me.
an area for me.
It's just
The
a
boss
video
would just
game.
respawn. His units would not. I'd fight him again, and I just started the takeover once more. But they don't attack a second time. A quick save is also created the moment you start the takeover, so if you somehow die, you are only moments away. Does also kind of fuck you over if you start the takeover with bleed. You have 1 quick save per stage, so I just have to restart now. I complain when stages die down too much. I like it
So
when
I just
things
seeing all the
ramp
characters
up,
flump
which
over
I
like that
imagine
is
true
really
of
fucking
most
good.
people. This doesn't necessarily mean things always have to get harder. Ramping up may mean the end of the stage is the apex of difficulty, but can just as easily mean that you have earned a big, crushing victory to end on.
Right?
This isn't ramp
Just
up
straight
nor
up
die
Gmod
down.
stuff.
It's a
like
static,
it fucking rules.
boring, flat plane. The same task over and over again.
Reminds me of Dave
strictly
Mira's
controlled
BMX,
until
if
the
anyone's
stage
played that game
just
before.
ends. Some takeovers are maybe a bit more chaotic than others where multiple adjacent neighborhoods exist, but as mentioned, after that introductory lesson in encircling, it's a rare sight and a rarer necessity. Sorry to kill the joy of an accidentally fun mission. It's no wonder Rocco gave up and hit the bottle, and Angel has gone from brass knuckles to an oversized knife. Had to get it out of pocket, and sadly I'm still not done talking about curves. Level 1 was Porter, 2 was Angel, 3 was Boris. I said I expected Porter again, but, well, we're Angel. So, here's the order. It's far from a big issue, but this does strike me as a poor way to go about things. It leads to the game feeling like it resets a couple of times. If it had kept cycling between the three, there would be more variety moment
Right,
to
it's
moment.
just like, now
as
this is
well as
Angel's
a
story, now this is
consistently
Boris'
building
story, now this
power
is Porter's
between the
story.
three. This ain't Yakuza 4. This is not building intrigue.
I'm
But
sure it's a
like
funnier
Yakuza
joke than I'm
4,
making it out to
these
be.
events are all
But I've never played
chronological.
Yakuza 4.
Porter's return in Chapter 12 has him reflecting on events in previous stages. So, you know, I love that. Porter just doesn't have anything to really do right now. He could nip off back to Miami to boat it up in the meanwhile.
These fucking music
Whether or
stingers
not
or where the fuck's
Porter is
going
out
on with
of
them.
court, Angel isn't resting on her laurels. Rocco liked her work, most of which he didn't witness because he was the one doing it. So we have a new assignment. Go and take down Oleg Orosiev. Kovacs says we should play along and do his bidding. And you know, I'll just let Angel tell the oddly melancholy tale.
Rocco was happy with the work I'd done for him. Said I showed potential. Yeah, like he was the one to tell. He was even more loco than I thought. But I played along, and he gave me a new and more important mission. To wipe out a Russian gang leader he said was messing with him. Oleg Orosiev was his name. And of course I accepted. This was what Kovacs wanted me to do, and I wasn't gonna go to the joint.
Or go back to the joint,
Our
I guess,
objective
but...
this time is just to kill Oleg. We don't need to take over neighborhoods, but I'm a fool who wants money and experience. In this stage, I want to talk about a rather
Cursed by
unique
numbers,
area, though.
I understand.
The Dark Corner. We
Entirely.
don't have to go there, but I did. It's set apart from the rest of the game by being a maze of cargo crates. It's filled with enemies, some blocking the path through, others in optional cutaways filled with loot. I am at this point thinking of scum-type enemies, those who belong to no boss, as shitty Ronin. This area is a lot like the game in miniature, a hamster maze version of the larger product. If you're losing a fight, back off, wait for your health to refill, and try again. That's right, you don't need restoratives or skills, your health just returns after a second. It's an odd fit for this type of game, but then most of my gripes have come from a place of every feature feeling out of step and out of place. Before I go into combat, I have to admit this is not a genre I'm massively into. I dislike cooldown styled combat reminiscent of MMOs. So what I am about to say is a less informed opinion, but I'm still confident that this is a bad version of that style. If we want to get nice and reductive, we can say that all combat in games is really just emptying an opponent's bar before your own. Combat becomes interesting in the ways we can keep our own health while taking the enemies. But this is just a waiting game. I put me and my allies against however many enemies, and all that matters from there is the bar. It's not fun to watch battles play out, and while there are ways to influence this bar, it amounts to making yours drain slower or theirs a bit faster. All that matters in a fight is what came before it, getting the units together, upgrading your gear, leveling up, placing stats, and picking traits. All those things are in their own ways dull. Battles are a culmination of these things that are lackluster in their own ways. We can all see I'm using skills in this footage, however, so you can say that I am indeed active during combat. I am pressing buttons and it's draining a focus bar. It is killing enemies faster. But these skills were hardly ever the decision maker in fights. They are far from make or break. They instead feel like I'm asking the game to just hurry up. It makes the enemies dead faster so I can move on to the next lot. It would be like arguing that films are interactive because they can be fast-forwarded. When I was first going over stats or looking over traits, I was hardly blown away, but I figured, hey, there's enough here to go for a build. The stat screen is nice enough to tell you what each stat boosts and by how much, and even takes accessory items with stat buffs into account. The numbers being moved are minuscule, mind. It's more fine-tuning than improving. The difference between putting points into precision or body, which boosts either ranged or melee damage alongside other things, over the course of the game, that's maybe taking a 30 damage point hit to 35 points of damage. With most enemies having 500 to 1,000 hit points and bosses several times that, you're just shaving seconds off. It's a difference only a speedrunner could love. This sort of granular optimization is far from my
have shitty minis that take forever to load.
Some people like to.
Hey, some DVDs have games in them. There's like the Dot Hack Arena Fighter game that came along with the Dot Hack DVDs that plays like a Naruto arena fighting game, but with Dot Hack characters.
Dull bound of power.
So now DVDs are video games. We made it. We hit full circle.
Higher damaging single shot weapons or lower damage multiple hit weapons. For Boris and Angel, it's the difference between one-handing or dual wielding. For Porter, it's single shot rifles or SMGs. The spray and pray skill still works, mine, meaning Porter can spray and pray with a bolt action rifle.
Game. I guess that makes sense, but that's really funny.
And occasionally the skill glitches and fires every bullet at once, which is my second favorite Porter thing. Every character has a handful of interesting traits, but I spent most of my time looking at these trait menus, unsure what to pick. I've said this before in multiple videos, but again, this isn't out of a multitude of interesting competing options, but a flood of dull ones. Again, this game is so easy, it's not like I'm searching for a magic bullet to get me over a tricky challenge. All I'm left with is which sounds the most bullshit gimmicky. I do have a compliment. Many traits are double unlocks, giving you an immediate statistical advantage and opening up skills to learn alongside it. There are two kinds of skills, active combat skills like flurry punches or single strong punches, and status effects. Their handling is at least unique, to my experience anyhow. You select a status effect skill, such as bleed, which inflicts bleed, but that doesn't trigger a move, it just cues it as a special effect alongside your next active skill, making the move cost more focus. It isn't exactly deep, but creates an admittedly clunky synergy between status effects and attacks. You can combo, say, bleed with flurry to give multiple chances for it to proc, for instance. Not to mention skills have prerequisite status effects. This is where I mention my first of two truly broken abilities that give me some joy. Deep Cuts causes bleeding enemies to immediately lose half of their health.
What?
Any enemy. Bosses have no status effect immunity. Take Oleg here with his thousands of hit points. Doesn't mean shit if they're hit with deep cuts. That's gone.
Wow.
Then there are weapon proficiency traits. You start with beginner and can unlock experienced and expert. Besides level requirements, some weapons have proficiency requirements. This is to an extent more checkboxing, but there is a fun trade-off here. There are at times two weapons with the exact same stats, save for a lower level requirement, yet higher proficiency requirement. You're trading off buying a trait with maybe a skill or stat boost to get access to more powerful weapons earlier. In a better system, this would make for an interesting judgment call that could give me some pause.
Yeah?
Here, it just doesn't amount to much.
I mean,
Strangely
I give
enough,
that there.
positioning, range, and movement are factors in combat. Bullets are projectiles. If you move, your character has a slower attack cycle. If an enemy obscures what you're targeting, they will take the shot for them. You can shoot through allies, but they will block attacks aimed at you. Melee enemies can be kited, which against melee-oriented boss fights can turn into a job for me while they get ventilated by my ranged troops. I must say, I used far less than everything I just talked about
If you wanted the bonus features, it was still
in most scraps, you never need to consider much more than spamming to speed things along. If you're dying, just kind of step out of a fight and let your troops handle it while you recover. From there, I take over a couple of neighborhoods.
Complain about not having a good game for
crossover
years,
into
but it was on the
Night
DVD the whole
Square. Angel yells
time.
that it's a trap.
How can they
and we
miss
must
out?
Run.
The fools.
And my response is, oh, thank God, this is a lot faster.
This stupid song.
Angel, introduce us to the next stage.
There was definitely something weird with this Oleg dude. I met a guy called Porter in a bar who seemed to know a lot about the city. He said that Oleg had supernatural powers. Yeah, right. and that I needed some special weapons to kill him. Whatever, I thought. But he kept on talking about groups of weird people living in churches who were keeping some special stuff that I needed. I wasn't gonna go back to Oleg empty-handed, so I figured I just might pay the church people a visit.
This story's getting weird. Is that just me?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, remember when I said that Paradise City felt characterless, and then that gets dropped on us? Well, what I said is still true. We got vampires in this game, and where there are vampires, there are vampire hunters. Yet, just like that nanotech malarkey, it all feels so strangely incidental. Something that just happens to be there. What does being a vampire mean in gameplay?
Because it never actually existed. I wasn't even paying attention.
And a bigger discovery. Porter wasn't away. He just happens to know we can't have two characters to a stage. And he seems to be on top of the vampire situation. From his bar office, we get the following excerpt. Weird enemies are fought with weird weapons, he said as he emptied the glass of whiskey in front of him. Where? Don't waste that stuff, Porter. It costs thousands. So, Chapter 6 is Chapter 5 again, but we're allowed to finish it this time. Oh. Okay, that's a little unfair. There are a couple of caveats. For instance, now we have to sneak to the church several neighborhoods over. There we'll get a weapon capable of felling a vampire. My first attempt at this was a botch job. I at least had the foresight to tell Jack Creed to stay behind. I am then immediately caught. I attempt to flee, thinking I can escape notice. Turns out I can't. Next time I was caught, but I changed tact. Maybe I can kill them before the capture timer runs out. Figured that'd be fine. It wasn't fine. The timer freaked out, got caught on timeout, reset, just went wild. But with the guards dead, the game did rule in my favor. Even as I am spotted by multiple people, because I killed one, that's fine. I still have 2 secs. Make it 15. But then I have a wild idea. I just call a car and get driven to the church. This works. Stealthy. No one even noticed the near vehicular manslaughter. In a complete reversal from Gangland, we're now the only ones unable to drive. Cars can't damage you, or anyone for that matter, and you have a power skill to call in a driver, serving as a way to quickly traverse the map. It's also sneakier than Angel's stealth.
Wow.
Stupid jerk, that was close.
I like our driver. I also respect that you're not allowed to look at him.
Auto caption is doing the work right here. I saw that too. I still have to sex.
I mentioned those post-takeover attackers.
This is not Llama.
They turn up in
vehicles.
vehicles. Before I understood what was triggering them, and when I still thought the game had bite, their occasional attacks had me eyeing vehicles with suspicion. The traffic made me wary, which was interesting, until I realized any attacking vehicles would have a highlighter above them. Oh. At the church, we're handed a pair of ceremonial daggers from Senior Vampire Hunter X. Oh wait, that's to close the window. Never mind. So now we're back to where we were last level, with no more need to sneak. Okay, that's another lie. We're 100 paces or so back. There we go. Now we're caught up. I head off to face the Dark Lord Oleg. It went poorly. Strength really does come in numbers. So I then went back to taking over neighborhoods. This is one of those situations where encircling kind of works. It's only 2 neighborhoods.
God, I forgot about that damn show.
Some strength in numbers.
Show, anime, manga. I've never seen it before. I just knew it existed.
Most vampires are by mass gunfire. An aside before I move on. Yes, there is a hard difficulty. We're on normal. I replayed some stages on hard. It makes the game much slower. So yes, that's harder, but I'll hard pass on it.
With his final breath, Oleg told me something that made me flip out. He said Rocco has set me up. That Rocco knew that sending me against Oleg without special weapons would be like throwing a kitten to a bunch of hungry pit bulls. So first the psycho son of a bitch used me to protect him at the strip. Then he sent me to Oleg to die. I'd had enough of that game. I'd take out Rocco and his whole clan if I had to.
The show maggot game. Oh yeah, I did have a game. I recently learned about that actually.
I'm not going to say that what Rocco did wasn't messed up, but you are overstating our importance when you say we protected him, Angel. It's more like we witnessed him, and even then, barely.
Rocco's
but then maybe I
pretty
just don't want to take
solid.
on Rocco. He's one of the few people in this city whose might I respect. The story slide is stranger yet. Angel somehow hasn't caught on regarding the whole vampirism deal. When told by Oleg that Rocco wanted Angel to become one of us, she has no idea what he's getting at. Imagine how Oleg must feel dying, felled by a mortal and hearing that. For a vampire, that's got to be embarrassing, downright mortifying. Anyway, Kovacs then gives us the go-ahead to kill Rocco. This story is moving a mile a minute, but it feels so slow. I hope I'm getting that much across. Kovacs has given us the okay, but what about Kovacs? This mission does waste our time a bit with superfluous objectives. First, we need to take over 3 neighborhoods. Then it forces us to buy a bomb-proof suit. So that's a 4th if none of the previous had a shop. The way armors work is curious. The trade-off is damage reduction for movement speed. Not slower cooldowns, slower focus regen, slowed attacks. Just moving slower. I mentioned how movement can matter in combat, albeit barely. The trade-off for armor is that it takes longer to get places, unless you don't mind just constantly taking it on and off. This one doesn't have its stats listed. It's not much guessing, mine, but fuck me, it slows you to a crawl. I will note, however, where movement can matter is in regards to explosives.
Some of them impress at games
They
like
are
these
slow.
actually get finished.
You can outrun them. So in a tragic irony,
impressed.
this bomb suit makes you more susceptible to explosives. But there is a silver lining. Explosives are not only slow, but very, very weak. Okay, 3rd neighborhood down. Oh, shit, he was still bleeding. Alright, you too, big man. The moment you begin a takeover, their immortality fades, which, fuck, that actually might make sense. So yeah, give them a moment to rest, recover, and clot. I've been using power skills for a lot of this run. You've no doubt seen more than the 5 units tops that I've been talking about.
By devs
well,
and players.
Stage
No, the
7
devs,
is
the
where I
devs.
realized I could abuse them,
always
and then
kind
just
of
started
impressed.
calling them in for the mildest inconvenience. Power skills are what really break proceedings in half. Earlier, I was being conservative with them.
But
due to
you know what?
limited
It's
funds and
hard. It's hard as
progress.
fuck. I'm not saying
I
it's
was
easy
in
or
a
anything like that, but
false
sometimes I just see
mindset
some of these, I was like,
scarcity. But
damn,
there
you
is
got this
no
out to
need for that
retail.
with regards to
You know
power
what? Good
skills.
job.
They have quick cooldowns and power rebuilds quite quickly.
'Cause
Not
they-
only
these
that,
games
how
are,
much
like,
power
actually
you have
lengthy, it
builds
seems
with
like.
each neighborhood. You'll start the stage able to call in a Robbie and Medic combo, which is already very handy, and your power will likely refill before you move on to the next fight. And you'll end stages struggling to even bottom out the bar. For all my complaints about Rally Gangster, half the time I just run in and call in the power skill trio instead. Made up not only of the aforementioned Robbie,
They call the finish is pretty generous. That is also fair.
and Medic,
I'm a trained physician. Let me come through.
but joined by a task force.
I hear you. I'm a trained physician. Let me come through.
Actually, how silly of me talking in singulars. Most fights would end with several Robbies. That's right, these skills are only tied to cooldowns and power. Already having a unit active doesn't matter. They don't even ask for cash. They're doing it out of sheer love of crime. There is an interesting bit of balancing to these units that is never capitalized on to create challenge, at least not much. Robbies and medics, when called in, spawn at the nearest building, which is amazing. He's good to go at a moment's notice. A Robbie can be anywhere. They could be in anyone's closet, citywide, ready to spring out and hit you with a bat. Unlike Rally Gangsters, Robbie's picking random fights. It's not annoying, it's charming. He's a force of nature. You don't control him. Anyway, task forces, well, they come in by car, so they need road
Robbie's
access.
just always there,
In back alleys
thinking,
and neighborhoods off the
watching.
main road, they are therefore much slower to arrive. In some areas of the map, you either have to line yourself up with them, or go into fights knowing that that safety net is not as close at hand. This also limits their effective time, as these units come in on a timer, typically good for 1 or 2 battles before departing. Nothing much comes of this
There's a
inherent
Robbie.
limitation outside of a
There's a
tiny
Robbie
pool of
inside of
areas.
you.
I haven't much thought of the way units
There's
need
an
to
entire
arrive as
Robbie
part of their
inside of you.
balancing before. Escape from Paradise City seemingly has considered it, but then has done nothing with it. There are some power skill units that need to be placed in strategy view. Funnily enough, they're all worse than the trio, despite or perhaps because of their more exotic natures. and, well, the limited control you have over
so
them.
just shit as well as exactly. It's like we can't spend more money trying to finish this game. The idea is done. We just have to get it out there. I got that Robbie in me. Yeah, I don't know why Toast smells like that. Got that Robbie in me. Ugh. Let's try that again, but smarter.
I mean,
Damn.
okay, assassins are shit at the best of times. Look at that damage.
Wow.
That was from a successful backstab, and now he's exposed. Each of these units operate like Robbies. They come out of the nearest building where you
your
pointed
trap
them
was
to.
now my
For
trap. It's
direct
now my
combat
trap.
troops,
Congratulations.
This is useful. It means
I'm the
they
best at what I
quickly
do.
muck in.
I do
For
is have a
snipers,
Robbie
it means
in
I
me.
either place them far away, where they won't actually aggro or do anything, or I call them in where I want them, which means they'll come in at close range, which ain't great sniping. Thieves, okay, I'll admit, I only tried him once, and he died immediately. But I'm hardly strapped for cash. Some power skills may be far more useful in multiplayer, I'll admit, but I'm going to take them from a single-player perspective. Call me unfair, but I didn't need to make a concession like that in Gangland. There are several power skills based around revealing enemy locations in their neighborhoods, but my ability to act on that information is decidedly limited. Seeing as I can't control many units, it's not like I need to form a plan, the game already has one for me. But well, these skills, particularly the idea of using information, brings me to a point about unit composition. This will be my most nitpicky point in the video, but you've indulged me so
It's the
far,
opposite
so
of what
please
Dragon
indulge the
Ball
most
Z
I've
Abridged did, where
overfought
they
a
were
singular
rating themselves in
unit.
like levels
I
of
said
how
in
many
Gangland,
radishes they
I went
are.
for mass gunfire over
We reverse
again.
it
The
and say
same
how
is
many
true here, and it
Robbies
works
everyone
very
else is
well.
worth.
In each neighborhood, we get 5 slots with which to place a selection of gunmen, bouncers, medics, and scouts. I'd go with 5 gunmen a majority of the time, occasionally tossing in a medic to very little change in survivability. Fuck scouts. I'm not only going to argue scouts are useless, but are a liability, and the enemy uses them. Scouts are the only unit which roam. All others remain stationary. Scouts are weak in combat, so their role is to spot enemies and retreat back to alert the others.
Wow.
Those stationary units are clustered around the only place in a neighborhood that matters. Right outside the neighborhood HQ, guarding the boss. An attacker would need to go through them. Here is a hypothetical. Angel has stealth, but even if she snuck past and then somehow took out the boss in a single blow, you still need no nearby enemies to begin a takeover. She'll immediately be set upon by the units outside. So the stealth approach has been up to this point a minor help at best.
I was gonna say, yeah, they
but
barely
then,
used
even
it.
if she goes unnoticed beyond that point and begins the
love that
takeover,
ring.
the boss
Thank
will
you.
leave the room, only to get shot by the units outside who can smell a traitor. Neighborhood bosses are tougher than the average scum. Sorry, the average unit, scum are a unit type, but they are not winning a fight against 5 gunmen. I can say that with confidence. A scout is 1/5 of that potential fighting force gone. Having a scout stops a better unit from existing. A scout's job is to drag units away from the only thing they actually need to defend. And now, if they do get in a fight elsewhere, the neighborhood boss can't end up mucking in. Attacking shops and businesses isn't a factor in this game, so it's not like you can draw defenses away by attacking strategic weak points. The boss is all that matters, and units are placed in a way that keeps him defended. In the campaign mode, enemy neighborhoods aren't under the same 5-unit cap you are, but they squander that by having scouts, who in their attempts to run off and collect units, tend to wind up dividing their own lads, weakening them for me. So again, fuck scouts. Okay, alright. Back to the power skills. The last 3 notable ones. If you think what I've talked about so far
Scout
is
only
boring,
good in
just know
Team
that
Fortress
these
2.
have been the cream of the crop. We got Neighborhood Lockdown. It makes the boss of an area step upstairs for 60 seconds. Might be useful in an attack, therefore useless in single player. When I said it's impossible to control units, that was a lie. It's impossible to meaningfully control them is the truth. The defend location
Yo,
skill
what's up,
lets you
Eskimo?
move
How you
units
doing?
a la an
Is it
RTS.
another
The
episode
fact
of
this is a
Monster
power
Hunter?
skill with a cooldown, which only works
But
in
the real
friendly
damage comes
territory,
from
limits
Nintendo
its
Quest.
use severely. When I first went to type that last sentence, I started it out as, the fact it only works really tells you what the ethos of this game is. I untyped that because besides sounding even more wanky than I usually do, what the fuck is the ethos of all this? Skill number 3 is the ability to call in cars, which I already covered, so I only had 2 more, I guess. Oh, and I found Rocco. Is Rocco a vampire? I don't need anything special to kill him. Is the bomb suit loaded down with Bibles? Forget Oleg. Rocco has a really ignoble death for a vampire, as he is beaten to death in a back alley by a baseball bat, which I doubt has any wood from the true cross in it. This is the death zombies get, not vampires. From here, however, well, Rocco is getting a cremation, and Angel's story is going on the back burner. After Angel killed Rocco, Kovacs gave Boris
the end
next mission.
gave me whiplash.
Took him bloody well
physically, physical whiplash. I was not ready.
Badass, Nick Porter, who'd been in a fight with a guy called El Lobo.
What in the hell is this?
According to Porter, El Lobo is the right-hand man to Santiago Vargas, the overlord of Paradise City. Porter was talking about their clan having supernatural powers, and I thought, yeah, right. I set out to find this Lobo clown.
We have a name. Santiago Vargas. That's our man. And, I guess Porter has been up to more off-screen. I love this art of El Lobo. He's so greasy looking. Oh, I can only imagine what fools Boris and Biggins there are going to feel when they realize they're charging a cardboard cutout. So, back in Boris's shoes. And this may look a fancier part of town, but believe me, it's just as crooked. You got a leak. You're gonna have mold. This stage boils down to two fat men shooting each other for minutes at a time. I don't really have a big all-encompassing topic for this stage, so really, this is what I've got to appreciate right now. I mean, at least in video form, I was able to get this far before it happened. We're at the halfway mark, stage 8 of 16. Feels like it happens a lot sooner when you're actually playing it. El Lobo comes off as hilariously inept for a lot of reasons. The opening sets him up as a mysterious, powerful, sweat-slicked entity, able to disappear on a whim. Porter couldn't take him down. He charges you non-stop throughout the stage, and yeah, he can vanish. Does it all the time. But that's because I killed him.
Oh! What?
Over, and over, and over, and over, and over, and over, and over again. It's fascinating. Within minutes of the stage, El Lobo goes from, okay, not menacing, but something, to moronic. While you gain levels, he sits still, getting weaker from a position of weakness. He also only comes at you alone. I can have Robbies, medics, anywhere in moments, Lobo. I respect your persistence at the least, but you ain't got it, pal.
But yeah, that documentary was
also,
rough.
This has to be said.
It was special. It was a documentary of all time.
He's a lich, and territory is his phylactery. We need to take his churches to put him down for good, and these are spread to the far corners of the map. You know, El Lobo, the fact he always comes back
Robbie's
not
always
truly
there.
killable, it's giving me horrible ideas about what this means for Paradise. Not just now, but back in Gangland times. There were always more criminals, more battles to fight, and families to destroy. Perhaps El Lobo explains why. Paradise City truly corrupts those who enter. And speaking of corruption, this stage features cops. They attack us on sight, and Boris, a copper himself, albeit a bad one, is more than willing to retaliate.
Oh, this neighborhood is off limits. Move on. There's nothing to see here.
I agree. Still, after claiming the churches and giving El Lobo more deaths than most men get, maybe he'll stay down. Boris had killed El Lobo and was enjoying his stay in Paradise City more and more. I like this place, Boris thought. His cell phone rang. It was Kovacs. You've compromised the entire mission, Kovacs shouted. Get out of the city now, he shouted even louder. No way, Agent Man, I'm not going anywhere. I've become very fond of my little city, Boris replied. Well then. There is only one thing I can do, Kovacs replied more silently. Boris almost thought the agent sounded like he was smiling as he smelled his pits.
Kovacs, the eager beaver. who was still in diapers when I was made head of division at the Bureau, had called me up, telling me to abort the mission and get out of the city, saying I was implementing my own agenda and straying from my task when going after El Lobo. Maybe he was right, but by then, I had already had enough of that pipsqueak telling me what to do. So I told him over my dead body, which he seemed to be taking literally.
I mean, you did give the most obvious threat of all time.
I can't be entirely sure that the story wasn't penned by a 5-year-old. It's weird, fast-paced yet rambly, and things just kind of happen with tenuous rhyme and much less reason. It jumps from character to character. Vampires happen, vampires keep changing their rules, and somehow Boris compromised
Vampires
the mission by
exist.
expressing a
It
like
is
of
very
the
John
city,
Freeman
and
level
then
right. Holy
leaned
shit,
into
you're
it.
right. You're right.
Maybe it was the cops he killed last mission, actually. The writing is rife with spelling errors, run-on sentences, and the spelling of Kovacs' name flips between two spellings, and this screen has both of them. It's at the very least coherent, but the game is called Escape from Paradise City, and at beyond the halfway mark, not only has no one expressed much desire to leave, Boris is willing to kill for the right to stay. The gimmick this stage is non-stop NSA agents to
I'm not
kill,
even thinking about
to really
Quest Off
just
right now. I'm thinking about
solidify our
Escape
betrayal
from
of the mission,
Paradise
the mission
City.
to kill the crime lord. And
Kinda
speaking of
forgot I was
non-stop
playing this game for a
NSA
bit.
agents, I guess Kovacs is also a lich? I mean,
What?
I've put him down repeatedly, but he keeps coming, spawning right on top of me at times.
Crime, it's the way I try to you.
Hang on a second, this is a criminal backroom. Are you in cahoots with these men? Did Robbie smuggle you in? I said Kovacs' plan may have had
Robbie's
holes in it,
always
and
doing
now
work,
so
though.
does he, as it seems his backup plan, in case the criminals he hired turned out to be criminals, was to just go and kill them himself. He's at least wise enough to occasionally accidentally line up with the attacking NSA agents. He only remains dead when we've taken over all 9 areas, making this the El Lobo mission, but 3 times longer.
Oh,
Throughout all of
that's
this,
unfortunate.
Kovacs is saying things like, "We can't let this rampage pass unhindered. Strike Team Gamma, follow me." Which, backs up my idea this was written by a 4-year-old. I did say 4, right? I kind of adore it. Finally, I take over the whole district. Boris flexes and Kovacs becomes so angry at the sheer amount of crime he disintegrates or something. Fun fact about this menu screen, there is no level select. There's new campaign and load game. It's one of those little things that makes the experience feel a bit cheap, and not in a cheap and cheerful sense. Your method of level select is in the game creating unique saves for each level, jury-rigging a level select out of it, and this creates a glaring problem. If we want to replay level 3, we'll go back to Boris as he was then, at level 1, totally fresh. There is no way to bring your leveled up characters backwards. No way to just go in, have a laugh, curb stomp some poor sods. And that's a replayability issue. You can rightfully say, "Snake, I've listened up to here. I know you'll never replay this game under the best conditions." Well, that's fair. But remember those stage-specific weapons I mentioned?
Oh,
there was a
right.
broadsword for Angel in Chapter 4. I wanted that, but it was level capped, so I went without. I didn't think to buy it and hold on to it since I was yet to realize the implications of there being no level select. And in later stages, that broadsword was no longer there. So, if I want that broadsword now, I'd need to go back to that stage and
Oh my
buy
God.
it. But not only that, I'd need to then play back up to the point I could use it at all. Fortunately, I had realized this in time for Boris. I spent a few stages carrying dual Desert Eagles and 44 Magnums for when I could eventually use them, in case they weren't available later. Boris hasn't killed enough people to know how to use them yet. So, well, let's get to it. Let's rack up that body count. On to Chapter 10.
Kill count.
Boris. Out of the way. I was free to do whatever I wanted. An appealing thought started to take shape in my mind. If all the powerful people in Paradise City were wiped out, the field would be open
We've
for
had some
someone
names
to come
today.
in and take it over. Someone like me. Porter had spoken about another clown called King Willie, who apparently held court in a nearby part of the city.
Boris, having killed Kovacs, is thinking bigger. by basically just carrying on doing what Kovacs brought
The
him
design
here
for
to
King
do.
Willy kind of badass,
President
though. I'm not gonna
Boris
lie.
Sounds good to
That
me.
kind of
as he
rules
sets off
super
to kill
hard.
King Willy. Hey, I found it. I found a phone book. Someone get Mario on the line. I love this stage opening with Boris questioning Porter's advice. Porter said I needed holy powers to defeat these people. Okay, let's say he's right. Bitch, you killed El Lobo. First, we need to take over a neighborhood with a church. We need an exorcism to kill this vampire because the rules have changed yet again. If you go at King Willy without, he just won't die. No, we can't simply ask the church's manager to call it an exorcism. We need to flex on God. I keep noticing billboards about this city. I have a feeling that at some point these had mock ads on them, but in the final product they flip between ads for other games from the same publisher. I can't imagine the people of Crime City are big on Sherlock Holmes. I doubt they've got computers, period. And well, who the hell puts an advert right in the middle of their product? Needed the time there to nab a church, but when I do, I unlock exorcism. Why do I do this to myself? More than half of those takeovers were unnecessary. I mean, at least it lets the finale hood count as adjacent to 4 others. So, a fun fact about Rally Gangsters, besides the fact it's actually Rally Gangers, but my brain is not accepting the word gangers for this game. As said,
Yo,
they follow
gangers?
a set path.
It's like poggers?
The set path isn't King Willy, it is, as usual, the neighborhood boss. So for objective purposes, Rally Gangster isn't useless, but it is a lot like the loading screen, a jury-rigged solution. King Willy's roaming AI crosses over the neighborhood boss on occasion, and the aggro may catch on to him. At least half of my units wind up fighting King Willy. Alright, enough people are here to see it. Let's do an over-the-phone exorcism. The power skill of Christ compels you.
I mean, that's what this game's all about, technically, anyway, so it does work out.
And so, another vampire falls. Mostly to gunfire.
Yeah, look, these vampires are very, very weak to, getting gunned down.
It was clear that there was truth in what Porter had said about supernatural powers.
Boris is willing to accept it, though, on the other hand.
Minion, I was definitely up against something that needed preparation. It seemed like these creatures' powers were somehow linked to city neighborhoods, and that their supernatural strength could be reduced if these neighborhoods were taken away from them. I decided to head for a part of the city Porter had talked about as being Santiago's control district.
Hang on a second, the power skills are supernatural powers? Is that why we can't look at the driver? Who are they, Karen? I should go after the neighborhood that hold the power skills.
I mean, it would make sense.
And I
It
better
would make
have bodyguards
sense.
close by at all times.
Right.
I
Don't
have
worry.
a feeling
Don't
bad
worry.
power skills
We'll
are
hear a
coming
lot
my
more about
way.
King Willy.
Very bad power skills. This stage
Yeah,
starts as
right there.
usual.
No, trust me, I
sort
got
of.
the
It tells
vibe
me
of what
to
the
take
joke
over the
was.
whole
Like,
area.
yeah.
And, well, fuck me, that's huge. So I quit
It's
the
a good
game
joke,
and put on a podcast.
and I like to see from
and
YouTubers
then the
all the
stage
time.
starts as usual. Sort of. It very quickly plays its hand with the game using power skills against you. And this caused something in my brain to start turning, but it wasn't until a long time later that it finally clicked into place. This entire game, I felt a strange disconnect.
I'm still ready
Like
for
my
that, honestly.
entire
I'm still thinking
runtime was
about it.
spent grabbing at smoke, thinking I could grasp something solid. This feeling continued well into my note-taking. With most videos, I take paper notes and digitize them later. I didn't feel like doing that this time around. After the first stage, I put down the pen and decided I'll just dictate my notes. I'll come back, rewatch, and write down what I said later. This made the whole process take a lot longer. Turns out, I'm a lot less selective with my note-taking when I can just voice what's going on. Most of my notes are repetitive, but this gave me time to rewatch the game, to see things I didn't see in the moment, see what I got wrong, what I misunderstood.
I gotta make a YouTube
The thing that was
video
making
someday.
this video so hard to write was that I kept questioning what all the features wanted to do, what end result it was trying to arrive at. The hours spent transcribing made me realize that I was overthinking things. There may be an intended end result, but it doesn't materialize. Every feature is experimental and half-baked. Limited funds, limited leveling, limited everything, but infinite power skill units. Vampires and liches.
Oh, if
They
you
only
make
have
that,
one unique
we are
ability.
definitely watching that.
You need to take over
We are
churches in a
100%
couple of
watching that.
stages. Elsewhere, you're just not allowed to, and in some of them, you fight vampires anyway. A strategy view, but no strategy. So many balances and features in this game overshadow or contradict others, and that's assuming they go anywhere, period. And this stage, where on a timer power skills are lobbed at me.
You'll be my
and
first
I'm a little
iceberg
blown
video
away.
I've ever watched if
As
you
on
do
the
make
rewatch,
it.
I realized the thing I've been missing. In Gangland, never mind, in strategy games, you're fighting an enemy. Alongside possible stage objectives is an active opposition. But this isn't a strategy game. It just looks like one sometimes. I'm using watered down strategy
Mary,
rules
you're
and tools
absolutely
alongside
right about that,
watered down
actually.
RPG rules and
This feels
tools
like this
to
should have
fight
had, like, another
nothing.
opposing
It's the
team that
illusion
should have
of an
been
enemy.
fighting
Cars
you.
that spawn after you do a takeover. Random non-stop respawning enemies with simplistic AI set to charge you and
Finish
yours.
it just for me.
It's
Do
a
not finish it
haunted
just for
house
me.
version of opposition.
You'll be
This
reading the
stage
credit.
isn't even
Thanks, Ryu,
dynamic.
for
The power skills,
chastising
as I
me to
said, are on a
finish it. I'm like,
timer,
no,
triggered
I was.
intermittently. A facsimile of
I
an
just want
opposition
support.
that could have existed at any other point.
Everyone
really,
boo
but
this man.
exists in this one stage as a gimmick. I can't deny it
All right, I'm
livens
excited.
things up a bit. As we take neighborhoods, we not only cancel enemy power skills, but gain them in turn. Oh, they used neighborhood lockdown. This game is a lot of waiting. Waiting for troops to spawn, health to refill, bosses' health to refill, waiting for the car. I can wait
Also,
for
what's up,
you,
Marianne?
you
How
son
you
of a
doing?
bitch. This skill is so pointless. It can remove the boss, but it's not like the game can respawn units to put pressure on me while I
You're
do
having a good
wait.
one. Happy Monday and or
And
Tuesday,
one
depending
thing
on where
that
you're at.
confuses me for different reasons.
Thanks, Ryu,
I'm
for
so
encouraging me
used
to finish
these
this.
half-busted
Make me the
jank
positive
games
force,
leaning
where
into
it's just be
being
like, oh
hard,
boy.
either to drag
My
out
first-
the runtime,
my first iceberg
poor
video.
balancing, or maybe good old cruelty. But Escape from Paradise City softballs everything. Everything is too weak to be a threat.
I'll accept.
And I'm
You can
not
do that.
used
You
to
have my permission. If you do
die
end up finishing
easily.
it, you
The
have my
random enemy
permission.
spawns tend to come in small groups. The enemy's capacity to pursue is poor, so you can leave any battle that happens to go bad. I don't get it. I should note before I close the book on this mission that Boris is currently taking on Santiago, the man who Kovacs brought us here to fight. So all Kovacs needed to do to win was nothing.
There's our boy. There's Boris.
Who was this woman? There was something unearthly about her, and I couldn't figure out
Unearthly.
what it was.
Could be anything.
Her name was Lydia, and she told me that she worked for a very powerful man in the city. She could tell by looking at me that I wasn't what you'd call a regular citizen, and she offered me a tryout job to clear an abandoned church from some nasty street dwellers living there, giving her boss a hard time.
Dance
Lydia
Boris.
had a
Yeah,
magical
he does have a
attraction
Boris
to me.
dance specifically to
I
him as
wasn't
well.
hard to
This is
convince.
actually accurate.
Well, I just fucking wonder what's going on, Porter. I fucking wonder. I wonder what's going on, Porter.
Damn,
hey,
she
we're
looks
Porter
like a
again.
vampire.
Alright, gotta say, I like the splash screen version of events a little bit more since it includes Porter reflecting on how little he cared for Kovacs. And with him dead, maybe he'll just skip town? Is that how this works? Your handler dies and you can just go?
Right.
No one else at the NSA knows about it? I mean, I guess with Boris and Kovac's blackmail situation, and the fact that Boris has killed the entire NSA, maybe there is somehow no more oversight. That sucks for Angel. Now she's just a death row convict out in the wild.
Right?
And I've got to update a point here. In Escape from Paradise City, Porter was just about to casually up and go. The idea didn't even faze him. Also, Porter, the person who has been telling Angel and Boris about the supernatural goings-on,
Yeah.
and even told Angel about the people conspiring in churches,
I was gonna
is
say,
about
does he
to
already
go
know?
and gun people
And he's
down
just
in a
kinda like,
church at the
hmm.
request of a mysterious woman he just met. Nice to meet you, sweetheart, said Porter. If you upgrade your equipment and get some skills on this one, I'll have more jobs for you. Honey. Oh, these two are just such flirts. If you're suspecting mind control, I can't blame you. But I promise, based on future events, that's not
Yes, and
what's
chaps
happening.
combos.
At least not with
She's
Porter.
living her best
Porter
life.
Is just being
This
a
is her
mug.
Paradise City,
Alright
please.
then, chapter 12 and back to level 3. And hey, Crowbar's alive. And back to level 3. I don't have to take over everywhere. All I need to do is take out the folks in that church. but by now you should know how I operate.
But yeah, it definitely does feel like...
This guy is even called Vampire Hunter. It's not even being treated like a twist that we're the idiots here. And so the mission
It does
ends
feel
with
like, yeah,
Porter
like,
gunning
here's something
down
like
an
what
old
someone
man
else would be
wielding a
doing at a certain
crossbow in
time.
church,
Or be
slapping his
counteracting
ass
with. Or
as he
here's what the
dies.
gang members would be doing in the meantime. I'm wondering how close we are getting to that, like the intentionality.
Lydia said her boss was very impressed with how I'd handle things at the church and took me to see him. His name was Santiago Vargas, and he lived in a huge hotel in the uptown area of the city.
Uh-oh.
We started talking, and he said I could go far by working for him. Suddenly, fear came over me, like a curse, worse than I'd ever felt before. Somehow Santiago could sense it.
And plus,
I reached for my weapon.
John St. John is here anyway,
revealing something
as well. So
otherworldly.
Everyone's here for the
Like
party.
Centuries of darkness were buried inside him. I made my escape.
Well, the tension is hitting a fever pitch. Lydia is a thrall to Santiago, and now we have to escape. The neighborhood, not Paradise City.
But, yeah, let's be clear here. We're never
escaping
escaping Paradise City.
Santiago said as he bared two fangs the size of beer cans. Ah, such imagery. As we flee, Lydia's will is taken from her. She can only voice her suddenly fully formed love of Porter while her body contorts to kill him under Santiago's control. And so Porter must flee. Crowbar, sadly, doesn't make it. Oh, for fuck's sake, I even stopped to take over a neighborhood on this level. Just go. It's a dramatic set piece. It's the only one they have. There really isn't much to this mission beyond the fact it really is just that. The sole set piece. We flee through some neighborhoods, a car bomb goes off, Lydia turns on us, and we must leave by our lonesome. The first time I played, this didn't actually happen.
They
and
brought
I
Lydia
ran down
in and
an
killed her
alleyway
off in
that
the
was
same
filled with
stage.
placed enemies ready to meet me. But when the stage did function as intended, I didn't need to go this way at all. So I think at some point this level went on longer. Again, I've grown to expect half-busted games like this not to go easy, but despite all the vampires, this whole affair is rather toothless.
Okay, that was good. That was good.
Lydia was torn.
Cochran-
Santiago
oh,
had
yeah.
control of her body like a puppet master.
That
but not of
makes
her heart.
sense.
She called me, telling me to meet her in a different part of the city. But something didn't sit right. The quaver in her voice told me she was about to give up. She wanted the whole ordeal to come to an end.
The loading screen says they spent the night together and Lydia left the next morning, contradicting not only the cutscene, but, well, the previous stage. Besides that, this stage has an honest-to-God enemy. Lydia travels the map taking territory.
Oh,
or at least
wow.
she did until her AI snagged on something
Oh.
and then she just kind of stayed in one place.
Wow.
So, Escape from Paradise City
Never
does
mind.
have the means to trigger power skills at me, spawn and respawn units, and
Sure.
have a somewhat dynamic opponent who takes over areas and makes moves against
Had her
me.
tattoo
If you
flip sides? I didn't
combine
even notice
these three
that. Oh my
elements,
god.
you would have an opponent. But instead, it divvies these elements up, using them as single-stage gimmicks. And that is so odd to me, that this game is rationing itself in this way, trying not to be repetitive with its semi-dynamic elements, while repeating the same stagnant gameplay loop tens of times over and over again. It could well be they only made one map that had the AI in place to handle Lydia. The power skill stuff somehow only worked on another tailor-made map. Besides the multiplayer, which is inaccessible to me, there's no free play mode to really check all of this. Never mind. This doesn't make the game crash. You just can't put bots in here.
You just can't put bots in it either.
But in the campaign, all of the elements that could make for a more satisfying overall experience filled with, well, opposition, conflict, and stakes.
Wow, this game's really struggling to even have the multiplayer
Let's
work
talk
to
explosives.
its most basic
They kind of
degrees.
blow. I mean, I mentioned it with Rocco. Grenades are slow and shoddy, doing maybe 150 damage a pop in players' hands. Porter has a trait to double that, which makes them, while not good, not a complete waste of our time. He can wind up comboing a bunch of skills together so that as long as he stays in one place, his grenade cooldown and focus cost halve, and he becomes a pretty slow grenade spam machine.
Right? Yeah,
Oh,
there's
hello,
no way
church
that this
manager.
worked even on
I hope
release.
one day I'll join
Even
your
if there was
religious
anyone
middle
else who would
but not
connect
today.
on the game, it did not work in the first place.
But then I did discover my favorite skill, Last Stand. For a measly 75% of your life, you can just Joseph Joestar a motherfucker. It's not quite broken, but that is easily over 1,000 damage if it hits. Well, it's not quite enough to take out Lydia by itself. The mission is just to take down Lydia, but she has the hit points to spare, and she'll start running long before she's at risk of death. Pursuing her and putting the hurt on isn't really in the control scheme, so we need to exhaust her of places to flee. This stage wants to turn her death into a tragedy, but
oh, like
it's a
100%.
farce.
Like everything they
Knowing
like
that
introduce this
Santiago
game like
rules
very,
her
very
mind,
slowly
she
with all the
begs
skills and
Porter
stuff
to
like
be
that.
the one to free
I think
her,
they might
trying
expect
to
you to go
turn her
on
own
like
death into a
online
grand
and start
romantic
playing other
gesture.
people with all
she
the
even
knowledge you
goes as
have.
far as
Here's
to,
a tutorial.
bare her heart to us as we shoot her.
She's T-posing.
But, well, sorry about that, Lydia, but you simply have too many hit points. So Porter can't give you that romantic gesture. So instead she winds up on the receiving end of a bullet bukkake.
No! Oh. Thanks, Porter. She's fine. She's got 2 magnums. She's good. She's alive.
Poor Lydia. Freed from Santiago's powers at last. All it took was someone who cared enough to make it happen. Enough to kill her.
Just, yeah, her eyes are open.
Too bad it had to be
She's
me.
out in dazed light. She's just thinking.
Before dying,
thinking
she
about stuff.
told me there were some things I should take from the corpses of the Rat, King Willie, and Oleg Orosiev.
King, really?
Stuff to help me defeat the old man. Obsessed with avenging Lydia's death, I headed toward the churches where those bodies were.
She has somewhere to be tonight. Remember when Lydia was alive? Damn, those were the good times. Look, the latest episode of The Golden Girls is coming on tonight. That's her favorite show. And now she'll never know how the season ends. It's a goddamn shame.
Alright, penultimate mission, and Lydia, with her dying breath, gives Porter complex instructions to go and nick body parts from former bosses, which are just flying around in churches.
Oh, okay.
Kinda stinking up the place, I imagine.
Yeah.
And no one bats an eye as Porter goes in and lops a bit off. This stage's gimmick is gun-toting Robbies constantly respawning to fight me. They do minuscule amounts of damage, and would you mind? I'm trying to shop here. I was able to break the habit on this stage, mind. I realized on the last corpse, all I need is the corpse. I didn't need that neighborhood. So fuck it. Maybe I'll be a little underleveled next stage. Who gives a shit? I can take it. I can save the time.
Uh-oh. Old habits die hard.
Alright, final stage. So, who do we play as? Well, I'll let the 3 new save files speak for themselves.
This one's for you, Lydia.
You messed with the wrong bitch, Santiago.
One last creature to go, and I'm the king of this city.
Oh man, I may have learned I don't need to take over every neighborhood, but then I played this stage as each character, and I took over every neighborhood the first time around. The second and third, you can see my progressively more lackadaisical attitude. Let's look at the slide for this stage. My word, that's a rogues gallery.
Wow.
At least several of whom we met.
Once
It
again,
was
cool
like
character
having reached
designs.
the
Whoever
top
did
of
the
the
character
stairs,
art,
only knowing that the
kind of
last
on
step was
point. You kinda
higher
hit
than you
that.
could jump and more slick than oil. This was where Santiago was hiding though, and cost whatever it must, the old vampire had to fall. Goes without saying, those body parts from last stage never
Some people
come
just
up.
want to always
So
have the
it's
perfection.
The final stage. Does it
I don't
pull
blame
out
them.
all the stops, cops,
But it's not
melee
me.
power
It ain't me.
skills, a
It ain't me
roaming
at all.
foe, Santiago
I hate-
himself,
I'm
maybe,
always short of
taking over
perfection.
territory and threatening yours. Actually, no, none of that. But El Lobo respawns once. I mean, well, good on him, but he's still not very hard. Bye, Lobo.
Yes,
Speaking
even more
of, the game is
T-poses.
breaking down. A good few enemies for the last few stages have inexplicably been at level 1. They die to a light brush and do single-digit damage. The very first enemy I encountered on the final level had this affliction. I quickly alleviated him of it. And as I learned after taking the entire stage, save for the Imperial Hotel where Santiago resides.
That's the beautiful
thing,
thing
must
right
have
there.
lots of dollars.
What's up, Cosmic Witch? How you
Only
doing?
one neighborhood leads
This
in.
is the information that we need to close out on for this game.
Santiago
There's
is
sure
just
a lot of
down
open space
next to
for
the office of the
a lot of
neighborhood boss.
changes.
And so the great vampire and crime lord falls
That
to
no one will
mass
ever make,
gunfire.
probably. This. Thanks
Angel
for playing the
will
game.
go
Oh
under
my
level.
God.
Simply use that ability to half the final boss's health.
Seems to be doing not too well.
And Boris, well, his victory wasn't all that interesting, really, but it happened.
But I believe so, or at least this is a follow-up to another video at the very
When I
minimum.
beat this game before I knew it had cutscenes, and the game just gave me a congratulations before booting me to the main menu, I was more or less expecting it. It felt like the ending I had earned. But now we have the epilogue.
It's been a confusing
how can
watch.
you
No,
tie a
you don't
neat little bow
apologize.
on this?
You
Let's
don't
hear
have to
it.
apologize. You came in with the knowledge, the information drop. And that's amazing. Uh-oh.
And so our story ends. Paradise City got cured from its disease, and our three heroes
Don't worry,
moved
the
on in
adventure
their
here
lives.
has been a lot.
Porter returned to his boat
Never
in
apologize for
Miami,
not being here, though.
where he wrote the
It's just great to see
best-selling
you in
novel,
general. Hope you've been
Love
having a
in
good one.
Paradise. Angel
This has
left
probably
for
been a very
Mexico,
confusing
where
watch.
She settled down in a little
Same.
fishing village by the Pacific Ocean,
Same.
earning her living by carving small wooden statues. Boris never left Paradise City. He continues to live in the penthouse in the former Imperial Hotel, now called the Presidential. Thanks for playing. Be well and rock on.
God, it feels like that's the closing of a demo. It honestly does. Okay, so it's supposed to be a sequel to the RTS Gangland, but the theory is what it really was. All right, I'm super excited. I think we're reaching the end of the video here. Of course, not the video game, just the video. Just be thanks for that. It appreciates my time, clearly.
I guess the moral of the story is crime pays. Boris got away with it. No one cared. Porter was able to retire from a life of crime with lined pockets. I mean, sure, he lost Lydia, but he didn't enter the city with her, so really that just means he broke even.
Yeah.
And Angel...
Accurate.
Well, I guess that's the best she could have hoped for.
Yeah, she didn't
I'm
get
not sure I have many more
put
words
into
to
the
put
chair.
to Escape from Paradise City. Despite how many I have done, I feel a little hypocritical when I say the lesson is not to overthink things. But my reasons are as follows. I was only able to put my thoughts down properly once I stopped grasping at what the intended end result was meant to be, and instead just focused on what they were. And that was a mush. An empty, easy, dull as dishwater mush. Gangland was a strange game. Annoying, repetitive, and hard. But it had charm. And it had cohesion. It used the Mafia as a basis for its look and feel. You extort businesses, lads in newsboy caps moved money back and forth, people come to you to ask favors of the Don, and you trade in vice, bullets, booze, and blackmail. So when I look at the mechanics of Gangland, even the ones that seem half-baked, I know what the intent of its systems is, to place the player in the position of the Don. Escape from Paradise City has no such easily placed style. It's a multi-genre car crash of systems and ideas that form a bizarre grey gruel. I dodged writing a conclusion to Gangland as I felt I had already said everything I had to. A conclusion was superfluous, and somehow this actual conclusion feels weaker than that. This hasn't earned a conclusion. It just hobbled past the finish line after a whole game worth of
That's
ideas
that's a
lack
good
an
way of
end
putting
goal.
something
And
like
it's
that.
so
I need to use that
bad
more
that
often.
even the
Just
solid
hobble past
title
the
doesn't
finishing
mean
line.
anything. An escape is dramatic. You flee, you get out, there's explosions behind you and shit. That was just... they left. 2 out of 3 of them left.
Yeah,
One
they didn't
stayed,
only.
and he had the happiest ending. So, thanks to everyone who watched. If you enjoyed this video and want to support creation of further videos like this one, you can support me on Patreon. Get thanked like the people scrolling
thank
past
fucking
now.
God.
And the upper tiers get access to script and bonus afterthought videos where I round off any lingering thoughts, questions raised by the video, and questions raised by those in said tier. If you can spread this video around, I would be deeply grateful. YouTube has kinda fucked people. YouTube's kind of fucked me lately on it actually sending people to my videos. And
yeah, YouTube's great at that. Don't worry about it.
Media
Or actually worry
Monsters,
about it, but
and burn Paradise City.
In Paradise City. No, I killed the place off. The monster I was actually grinding up to defeat in general. Oh, well, here's music now. I'm not quitting out because I don't want to accidentally fuck up the game by clicking out. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to deal with the louder music for a bit. Okay, so here's my big theory that I barely need to prove for. Game Story's life as an MMO for Vampire the Masquerade. Same company? Like, is it actually same company? Alright, I'm turning that down. Yeah, also, Disc 4 of Pizza Hotline's Low Poly Breaks has just dropped. This is it. You should go check it out because they put together very good music. Because I'm only so familiar with Vampire the Masquerade. Now, White Wolf likes to outsource games to different companies, which is why this company got it. Interesting. Because, yeah, I'm not familiar with Vampire the Masquerade all that much. So this is kind of a new grounds for me in that regard, but not the Flash site. So Vampire the Masquerade, is that, I guess, a city takeover game? Everyone says it's plausible. I'm actually very intrigued now. I'm super, super intrigued now. That's a Flash game. Damn, it's like that, huh? All right. Does this mean I get my next urgent quest? It does mean I get my next urgent quest. That's it. That's the one that Eskimo keeps talking about. That's the monster. Y'all, we're at the potential finish line. We're at the potential finish line. I don't know how long it's going to take me to beat this guy, but we are almost there, I think. Let me swap this over real quick so you can all see what I'm seeing real quick here. The Horn of the Monoblos is the next urgent quest we have on the list here. We are actually at the finish line. I'm not doing it tonight. No, fuck that. I'm not doing it tonight. It's 9:13 and I can't take an L. But I think here's what I'm gonna do real quick. I'm going to I'm going to start the mission just so I can look at what I'm fighting and understand the area I'm fighting it in. Just so I can mentally prepare myself to say, okay, here's what I need to do, here's what I not need to do, here's just something I've seen, so on and so forth. Do it or no balls. I'm having no balls tonight. I don't need them tonight anyway. What am I gonna use my balls for? I can't put it in your mouth, can I? Oh! What's up, Kefka? How you doing? Good to see ya. Hope you've been having a good week so far. Things have been going all right. I already know about Vampire the Masquerade is that 1 FPS and Alpha Boosta's Hunter. You've said a lot of words, and I don't know what any of them mean. If I was reviewed, I was about to jokingly ask if we were something in a Masquerade game. Everyone's thinking about this game. I'm like the last person to know anything about it. Today sucked for a Monday? No! Well, we'll just erase Monday. We're just going to erase Monday. Is that okay? Can we just erase Monday and just start over on Tuesday? Would that be cool? That'd be all right? I'm not going to bring any items, honestly. I'm just going to drop everything off here and for a second and take a moment to save. Just to doubly make sure that everything is locked in. And I am save stating too. I have been save stating this entire time. And I've only really used it, quote unquote, once to restart literally where I left off last time because of the internet crashing down. But I've been using it as otherwise backups just in case something goes wrong. Which something did go wrong one of the times when the game had a terrible crash. So realistically, I'm glad I am saving state just as a backup thing. All right, I'm gonna put that here. That should be saved, correct? Yes, okay. Try being a little bit more careful and understanding if I was saving or loading, because I would have cried if I had lost all my data. All right, so I'm just gonna look at the quest real quick here. Just kind of understand what I need to prepare for and stuff like that. So Vampire the Masquerade is a tabletop game that's mostly about inter-vampire clan politics and fending off like vampire hunters and other supernatural creatures like werewolves and wizards. And when you say tabletop game, do you mean like tabletop D&D game, or do you mean a tabletop game as in a tabletop board game? I know some people use it interchangeably. I just don't want to sound like a dumbass when I immediately start thinking it's a board game, and it's like, that's stupid, Rito. Get the fuck out of here. I'm unfollowing you, and I'm stepping on your toes on the way out. Oh, never mind. Adamant just came up with it. Yeah, like D&D, Vampires Arena, modern medieval setting, depending on the role-making one. Okay, that makes sense. That sounds kind of... Yeah, that seems like that would work, actually. I hate to admit it, but it sounds like that would kind of actually work. That would be plausible. I should probably grab some sort of food on my way in, but whatever. I'm just gonna keep running until I see the beast, and we'll go from there. I have no idea where the beast is going to be. I have the laser book for Vampire the Masquerade. I haven't run anything yet because I realized that after getting it, my group would not gel with it at all. I'll have to ask my partner about it, since she's the D&D liker in the family. I guess we'll call it a family. It's me, her, and the cat. I'm pretty sure the cat is ambivalent to everything. So it's just me and her. Also, did I say hi to you more? Holy fuck, did I fuck up? Hey, what's up, more? If I didn't say it. If I did say it, hey, what's up, more? Yeah, really RP heavy. Gotcha. She might like the RP elements of it more, because she's been mentioning, like, as she gets more into D&D, she likes a lot more of the RPing elements rather than the strictly battle elements. Oh, here it is.
I fucked up!
Sounds like a Shadowrun fan. The cat did have a lot of Shadowruns today. Oh, what's this ugly son of a gun? Wow, they could have not put an uglier creature at the end, huh? I kind of hate looking at this. Honestly, I kind of want to kill it now if I could. Put it in the dumpster where it belongs. You guys did not play well together, and Wizards of the Coast had issues. Well, yeah, that's definitely true. All right, so Burrow's on the ground to some degree at least, so we'll be ready for that. Tabletop up maybe one day. So are there Vampire the Masquerade games, like modern games now then? Like game adaptations, I guess is the big thing. Okay, what are you all about? Okay, you roared, but... Oh, you hadn't seen me yet. Okay. Okay, not terrible on the damage. Noted. Ow. I mean, I'm still gonna try to find some extra damage, but... Or extra defense. Okay. Charging. Okay. I guess good question is going to be, where can I hit you? Not there. Side charge. Not too much damage, actually. Okay. Ow. Not that big of a deal. Just kind of checking out. Okay. So, hard head. I can seemingly hit the legs and parts of the head underneath the actual forehead section. So that's good. Okay, so I guess in that case, and I'm not in desert, I'm in soft desert, I guess is the best way to put that. Soft desert. So I don't need any cooling drinks, I assume. But I don't know, it might take a while. I might have to like fight it all the way, beat it all the way back to, you know, hot desert areas. So maybe I want to grab some cool, actually, better question. Does the game give me cool drinks? In the expectation, yes, it does give me cool drinks. Okay. So I'll pack my own cool drinks as well. So cool drinks as well. Rations. Okay. All the usual stuff. Okay. So pack my own cool drinks. Get some Sunny D. Can do that. But the big ones are Redemption and Bloodlines. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Wait, is that the brain, come on, you can do this, buddy. Don't say the word that is in your head right now and say the right one. Is that the Battle Royale-esque game? Oh, fuck you. I'm trying to do some business here. No? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought there was a vampire-esque, Battle Royale-esque game. No, it's an old action RPG. Well, damn. Damn, I don't know anything. Well, I was trying, instead of trying to think of the word Battle Royale, my brain was going like, it's the Fortnite-like game. It's like, there is a word for this. Please don't call it the Fortnite-like game. Oh, funny dragon moved. First-person RPG and the source gaining a commercial release. Oh, you just pop out of the fucking ground. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. I can hit the legs. That's one thing I also want to check out. Can I hit the legs? All right. So I'll definitely need paintballs, of course, to make sure that I can keep track of this monster as well. Okay, that makes sense. Just like Fortnite. Points at gun in video game. Fortnite. Points at tower defense game. Fortnite. So Mumbless is a diggy boy. All right. Okay. All right. Now I know mentally what I have to prepare for the next time. I probably won't go straight into. Well, maybe I should give it an old college try, just in case. Just in case, so I can get a better feeling of what I need to handle after a fight with the monster. I'm not doing it this time. Not like I said, I'm not doing it tonight. The fact that I even killed Plestheoth, or whatever the fuck the water lizard is like a huge victory. I did not think I was going to be able to do that. I still would like... once again, the damage isn't too high, at least. If I can find more and more either armor pieces or more seeds to make more armor juice, that would be ideal. I don't have any more attack juice either, so I'll need to make more of that anyway. So I guess maybe Thursday stream will be a lot more preparation to beat Monoblos, and then maybe Saturday, if all goes well, we'll just go ahead and we'll make the final push. But I might give it a good college try just to kind of see where it puts me, all that good stuff, and we'll kind of go from there. No, I don't want to go back to college. You can't make me. Hey, you want to go back to college, Toast? It'd be fun. We could go to all the frat parties. We'd be the only ones who could probably legally drink. So we'll be the coolest two folks on campus. Come on, Toast. Come on. I'm sure everybody would love to go back to college. I'm sure some people would love to go to college, though. I know that's an opportunity that is not awarded to everyone. But as a joke from Key and Peele that I always attach to is that every college movie that stars a white person is always about how little work you can do in college. Every college movie that stars a black person is, man, I gotta go to college. I want to go to college. They changed the masters for comp-sci a lot. I mean, comp-sci keeps changing, so both don't blame them. And also, fuck, that sucks a lot. Machine learning and AI and other shit I don't care about. Yep, there it is. I didn't know if it changed that recently or that soon, but it sounds like that they got there. Good on them. Weird. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Not y'all weird. I'm looking at something else. Don't mind me. Out of the way here so I can go to my screen thing I haven't used in like a while. There it is. We're almost there. You know what? I like this. It makes me feel really far away. You can't see me from back here. Who's that mysterious man around the corner? Hi. Senpai. But that said, thank you all for tuning in. This is a big move. There's a strange man around the corner. Yeah, that's Robbie. Don't worry about Robbie. He's just always gonna be there. You can't stop Robbie. Can't stop the Rob. This angle's super good. I like this a lot. Makes me feel tiny little lad. I'm just a small little guy. But thank you all for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it as always. We're almost to the end. We are actually almost to the end. I can't promise I'm going to finish it this weekend, but I'm going to make a damn good effort at it for sure. So, stream went great today. Thank goodness. So this is a very, very good sign for things to come. So stream can go well tomorrow, no interruptions. Maybe we can really focus on getting this game done. And maybe by Saturday, we'll finish the game. And I can officially start at the same time Sonic September because the internet's actually working. I'm going to delay until I have a few good streams back to back to back. This is what I would consider stream number 1 going very well. We'll see what happens Thursday. If that goes very well, then I'll feel a lot more comfortable starting Sonic September, because Sonic games are a little bit harder to start playing and then get caught up midstream and then being like, I can't return to this one spot, or it feels like it's not long enough or content enough of a game to be able to restart from this one spot. So it's just like, I want to make sure that the stream is working, if that makes sense. Because it feels like that's a weird game to kind of cut out there. We get past the game on too. I have to start thinking about that, actually, honestly. Titty on stream, official titty, but far away titty, so you can't see it. Look, if that one lady can do body painting consistently day in and day out every morning on twitch.tv.com on front and get on the front page, then I can do this. I can get $5 for titty. What's up, Cisco? How you doing? Yeah, I'm super thankful to have a stable for a stream. It has been... It feels like it's been forever. I know it's because it came at the end of one of my vacations. Or one of my vacations. My last vacation. But it just feels like it's been so long since I've had a very good stream. So I'm just thankful for that, honestly. Wait, who, where? If it pops up again, I'll send it your way, Sco. I don't know who it is. She just pops up. She's very, what I can tell from the small screen, topless as far as I can tell. And she has the tags art and body paint, which pissed off my artist friend. But that said, if you want to hang out for a little bit longer here, if you want to hang out for a bit longer tonight, I never get the rave Nirvanas. Retro achievement streamer, playing Metal Gear Solid 2 right now, just getting the achievements that they have as an online database, all that good stuff. So go ahead and hold a head over there. But definitely just say Monoblos gonna, actually no, just say fuck NES. Fuck NES, fuck Nintendo Quest, whatever section of Nintendo Quest you want to say fuck at, just pass that on to Nev. Robbie incoming. Actually, that's really good. Never mind, I lied to you all. The stream message now is, the raid message now is Robbie incoming. That's really good. It's threatening in all the right ways. Perfect. Well, that said, take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Thank you all for hanging out. We're going to get through this Monster Hunter soon. And I'm ready to make it happen. Stay cute as always. And until next time. I think I'm on screen with my right hand. Yeah. There we go.